having the opportunity to live out a childhood dream.
If you go to Dallas, that'll be a dream come true.
It's been a good decade for us, there's no question about that. And we've had a lot of great football teams and had a lot of fun times.
But wouldn't it be fun to see the Packers do well one year?
How special has the relationship been between you and Emmett and Michael? So much has been made of it. Is it really a unique relationship?
Oh, I think so, yeah. You know, we're all friends. You know, we don't have the petty jealousies that I think have compromised a lot of relationships over the years of football players on teams that have gone on and had the success that we've been able to have here.
Didn't they say the Russian champion never went to the Super Bowl? Ain't that what they said?
I think over the years, you know, we've all have grown in tremendous ways. We've made plays with one another. We've lost big games with one another. We've taken blows with one another. We sustain one another.
This season, however, has served notice that time is truly the most formidable opponent.
Whoa, oh, mercy, mercy me. All things ain't what they used to be now.
Times have changed in more ways than one, even though the three of us have been the constant. You know, the three of us have witnessed a lot of change over the years, some of it for the better, some of it maybe for the worse. But I think we've always at least found some comfort in seeing each other there.
Drawing strength from one another, they have also vowed never to surrender.
The day that you start getting satisfied about what you have accomplished, it'll be the day that you grow and stop. As long as you play the game, you got to love it, you got to hunger for it, you got to go out there and have the inner drive to continue to push through the hard times. In my mind, I play the game because I love it.
And these are the moments I'll remember all my life. I found all I've waited for, and I could not ask for more.
It has been a great run. Troy Aikman is the leader of that pack, and I think he really exemplified his leadership. When Michael Irvin was having all of his off-the-field problems, Aikman showed up at court to support him, and I thought that was a strong statement for him to personally get out there and do that. Emmett and Michael are like brothers. They really genuinely love each other, and I think Troy said it best. He's going to miss this guy, especially Michael Irvin, who wasn't even there the day that we did the piece. He didn't even show up. He comes in at night. His career is over. You're going to miss him at training camp. You're going to miss getting them all together.
You know, when I first met those three guys together doing a game, you looked at them on the field and went, wow. But as they matured, you really noticed how special they were to the football team. I talked to a head coach in the league and said, hey, look, when we scrimmaged the Cowboys, they looked kind of loosey-goosey and disorganized until those three players and Dion suddenly decided, hey, look, it's business now. They ran that football team, and that team will miss them.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you say that, because every time one of my football teams was able to go to Dallas or play Dallas and win the game, I noticed that one of those triplets was not playing at the end of the game, and that's why we won.
You just have to wonder how they've replenished behind the triplets for the future. And for more on the future of the triplets and how that will impact the Cowboys, we're going to go down to Dallas right now. Armin Katayan is standing by live with owner Jerry Jones. Armin, take it away.
Thanks, Jim. I'm with the dynamic owner of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones. We just watched a feature on the Big Three. You're the guy that's got the control of their future. What can you do or should you do in the future with this team to hold this nucleus together?
Well, we've got to keep Aikman healthy. I think that's very realistic, and have him for 5 or 6 years. Emmitt Smith is amazing, and we're watching him. Last year he had his best first tackler miss in his career, so he's got years left. Michael concerns me because of the genetic spinal column that he's got there, and we'll have to look at that, and I don't know that he's made his mind up. It will be his decision.
Jerry, obviously big week here in Dallas. Jimmy's back after 5 years. You had a lot of positive comments, a lot of respect to Jimmy. One thing that caught my eye, you said, I blame myself for the breakup. Most of the blame comes on your shoulders, you said. Explain that to me.
Well, I think when you're in my role as it would related to Jimmy, anybody that owns or manages anything knows that it's your job to keep the incentive there, to keep them fired up, to keep them wanting to be there. That didn't happen. We had 5 great years, and it took a lot out of us. It was intense. It was rough stuff. We've known each other for 30 years, and the overall thing is what I remember.
Thanks a lot, Jerry. Appreciate your time. Jim, back to you.
All right, thank you, Armin. We'll hear from Jimmy shortly. He says 5 or 6 more years for Aikman. Now, beyond the triplets, one of Dallas's most explosive weapons is, of course, Deion Sanders returning punts. Now, it's Deion's call when he's back there because of all his recent injuries. And when he is, the Miami special teams will have their hands full. Craig has more on that aspect of this game.
Jim, in our CarQuest Chalk Talk today, I'm going to show you something better than dessert on Thanksgiving Day. That's Deion Sanders, prime time on a punt return for the Cowboys. Joe Avezzano, the special teams coach for the Cowboys, he puts 2 blockers down low. He puts 2 up top. He's trying to block and slow down those fast, speedy cover guys. On the inside, his linemen, they're trying to block and keep them on the inside as well. This linebacker, he's got a huge role. His job is to get back. As soon as the ball is snapped, he takes off running to the back. And his job is to pick off anybody who's covering down there, the first guy available to hit Deion Sanders. Now, Deion Sanders, he's very fast. That's unique, number 1, in that he's faster than most people in the NFL. Number 2, he's got excellent running skills. This is a return to the right. He's trying to get to the outside. Here's that linebacker. As soon as he makes that block, Deion sees that, and he gets back to the inside of the field, and he scores. Most punt coaches tell you, kick the ball out of bounds. Don't give him a shot at it. With his running skills, his instincts, and his speed, it's dessert on Thanksgiving Day, and I'll buy it for you, Jimbo, if he does it today.
I'm going to hold you to that. A little pumpkin pie there, my friend. Coach, you were one-time Deion's man. You were his coach, and you taught him how to return a punt, didn't you?
Well, you didn't have to teach him much, but we had to make one agreement. The very first thing you had to do, Deion, don't start dancing. Get a first down, get upfield, get 1 first down, and then let your athletic ability take over. And the second rule we had, no celebration until you score the touchdown.
Well, he listened to the first down thing, though.
He did that.
The other thing, I don't know.
All right, guys, still ahead. Reba McEntire will be singing the national anthem down at Texas Stadium. Also, the latest with Dan Marino. There's the rookie, J.J. Johnson, who rushed for over 100 last week. And Jimmy Johnson's version of his days back in Dallas. The NFL Today continues in a moment.
Sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. 1-800-COLLECT, the easy way to save. And by MGM Pictures. The wait is over, the world is yours. James Bond is here. The world is not enough, rated PG-13.
All right, welcome back, everybody. And again, happy Thanksgiving from all of us here at the NFL Today. Hey, the Lions are now 7-4 for Rott throws for over 300 yards. They were shut out in the second half, but the Lions win to take over first for the moment in the NFC Central. Now, the IBM Power Poll. This picked by my guys here as always. Craig, Randy, Jerry,
on this
Eric, man, Bob Matina, our radio buddies, Don and Mike, everybody in on this one. There's the Houston NFL 2002 logo down at the Houston Parade today. They unveiled that. Meanwhile, just blocks away here in New York, the Millennium Snoopy makes it. My personal favorite, Blue from Blue's Clues. Number 2, Rocky and Bullwinkle. I know that was yours, Craig.
I like Rocky. Oh, yeah.
And number 1, Barney. Barney rates number 1 in the good old IBM Power Poll. Sorry, I know you had Arthur in there, Randy, but he made number 6. As we mentioned earlier, Dan Marino will start at quarterback for Miami for the first time since suffering a pinched nerve in his neck a month and a half ago. Now, last night, our Phil Simms sat down with Marino and asked him about starting today.
I'm a little excited, yeah, excited. And you know how it is. I mean, I wouldn't call it nervous, but the anticipation of playing again is definitely there.
Talked to you last week. You were a little bit worried about your endurance. Could you withstand throwing so many balls? So how are you going to approach warming up for the game?
Well, I don't think I'm going to throw as much. I've already talked to Damon about that, maybe letting him throw a little more. But I've always been a guy to throw a lot and get, you know, a lot of throws in, and I want to feel perfect, you know, that my arm's working the way I want it to work before the game starts. Been that way for a long time, so tomorrow I think I'm going to just take it a little easy as far as warming up.
Playing on Thanksgiving, does that bring a little more excitement for you?
My first time ever. You know, last time we played on Thanksgiving, I had a boot on with my, you know, I had a torn Achilles tendon, so it's my first time. I'm excited about it, and the fact that it's going to be the first time I'm playing in 6 weeks makes it all more important to me.
Marino ready to return. Now for Miami, another major return is Jimmy Johnson's first appearance at Texas Stadium since he left the Cowboys in March of 1994 after leading Dallas to consecutive Super Bowl victories. This week, I had a chance to visit with the Dolphins head coach. Coach, this is an irresistible story. Jimmy Johnson returning to Dallas to go back on the sidelines at Texas Stadium. What do you think this will be like for you?
Jim, you know me well enough that, yeah, there's going to be some anxious moments. Yeah, I've got some great friends back there and obviously had some great memories with the Super Bowls there. Yeah, there were some tense times and everybody wants to make a big to-do about that, but more than anything else, it's been very positive. I mean, yeah, that was really a great time of my career and really allowed me to come back to South Florida and coach the Miami Dolphins.
You know how I feel, but I'm not going to say a word, but I will say one thing right now. How about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys? You know, it's hard to identify you with anyone else other than the Cowboys in that very scene right there. What was that experience like for you?
Well, it was a great experience. And it was a great experience because we were so bad and we were laughed at, you know, the first year or so. This college coach coaching this team that's so awful, only won one game. And then all of a sudden, with all those people laughing at us, we dominate the league for a couple of years. Yeah, that was a great feeling, a feeling of pride.
I think it's in the best interest of the Dallas Cowboys that I am no longer head football coach.
Above all, who was the architect of the Cowboys? You or Jerry?
You know, what is it? Victory has 1,000 fathers. Defeat is an orphan. Well,
really true,
when we started winning games, everybody said, hey, I did it. And that's when we had some friction.
How would you rate his job as general manager?
Oh, I don't know for sure what a GM does.
How about as a personnel man?
Well, Jerry would tell you he's done great.
Dan Marino, one hell of a job.
Do you feel like to win the Super Bowl, it has to be Dan Marino taking you there?
Well, I think we would have to be awfully good in all the other areas if Dan wasn't a part of the offense. I think anything's possible. You know, if you can win this division with whatever quarterback, if it's Damon, if it's Dan, those are the same teams you're going to have to beat in the playoffs.
Coach, last December you faced a real kind of a watershed moment in your life. You lost your mother. You decided after much thought to come back for one more year. Where do you stand right now?
Well, at that time, you know, I really, you know, I thought that I was going to retire and get married. I did get married. Rhonda and I got married a few months after that. You know, the one thing I think that was important, our team was of the quality that I knew it was going to be the best team that we've had since I've been with the Dolphins. And so why not, you know, make a run at it and see what we can do.
But there is a possibility that we're down to the last 2 months of your coaching career. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's a possibility. I don't know if it's a probability, but it's a possibility. But it's going to be a possibility every year.
Uncertain of his future, but he has taken the field at Texas Stadium, and a moment with the quarterback that took him to 2 Super Bowl titles, Troy Aikman.
You know why those two guys like each other so much? Their love and desire and passion to win. Jimmy Johnson wants to win. I could see him maybe taking a pause in his coaching career, but I don't think he'll ever not be a coach.
It's his offense in Miami, not Dan Marino's.
Well, the Cowboys miss Jimmy a whole lot more than he misses the Cowboys.
Coming up next, Marcus Allen, our galloping gourmet, dines on some Southern hospitality with the Tennessee Titans when we continue.
Peterson holds it on the right hash. It's a first down kick, and it's blocked! It's blocked and rolling around at the 10-yard line with 8 seconds. The ball's pitched forward. Oh, Leon Lett!
Leon Lett! Oh, my goodness, what a dumb thing to do.
You know, you can watch football for 50 years and not see that happen.
Not exactly the way you want to become a household name, but Leon Lett was certainly the talk of Thanksgiving back in '93. And by the way, that was the last game Jimmy Johnson lost as a head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, looking ahead to this Sunday, we're going to cap off the holiday weekend with an NFL doubleheader. Some of you will see Tennessee at Cleveland. Tennessee at 8-2. A lot to be grateful for on this day. And some of the Titans are right now down in Nashville celebrating this holiday with our own Marcus Allen. Marcus, happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving to you too, Jim. This is a wonderful setting here. I'm here with the best team in football, 8-2. A lot of people don't give them credit, but the best team in AMC football at this time. I have Yancey Thigpen to my right. Yancey, this is a far cry from my rookie season when I sat in a hotel by myself, eating a turkey sandwich for Thanksgiving. It's great to have camaraderie with the single guys on the team, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You know, we're actually a team, and you know, we got a lot of young guys here and coming into the league early, with a bunch of eyes. So we try to build a concept team and do a lot of things together.
And to my left is Javon Curse, star defensive end, rookie, first-round draft choice, 7.5 sacks. Now, you've been on a special diet all year long. Now you get a chance to eat some food, to gain some weight. You're going to take advantage of today?
Well, it isn't much of a diet. I'm actually trying to gain weight, but I'm trying to do it the healthy way, not eating all the fat foods and, you know, just straight protein, just things that are going to keep me in shape.
Well, in a bit you can take advantage of that. Yancey, once again, you run 4.3, right? We want to see how fast you can introduce everybody at the table today.
To my left is Joe Salavel, Dane and Cindy, Brad Hopkins, John. This is right here this is the freak. Comes Javon Curse, John Thornton, Spencer George, Kenny Holmes, and myself, Yancey Thigpen.
Well, to my left is far left. We got Brad Hopkins right here. Brad, you've been with the team since '93. You played in Houston, you played in Memphis, and you've also played here. How does it feel to finally call a place home?
Definitely, it's the high point of my career so far. You know, we started out in '93 with the Houston Oilers. As far as the facility was concerned, it was kind of average, but you know, the state-of-the-art things that we're dealing with right now is a fantastic thing. You know, it's worth the wait.
Well, you guys are playing the Browns this weekend. Obviously, there's no free meals, but you guys have an opportunity to feast on an opponent you guys should win if you play your game.
The Browns are always tough. You know, they've been tough the last 7 years I played them. Actually, you know, obviously they've been gone for a couple of years, but you know, we don't expect any less than a good competitive, obvious organization from them, and we'll see them on Sunday.
Okay, Jim, we're going to dig into this culinary presentation. A surprise right here. You guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving here in Tennessee. We love you guys. You guys have a wonderful day across the country. Happy Thanksgiving. Back to you, Jim.
All right, and same to you, Marcus. Thank you very much. And folks, right now we're going to take it down to Texas Stadium. Very special rendition of the national anthem coming from country superstar Reba McEntire, recently voted country music's female vocal artist of the century. And here she is with the national anthem.
And now, please rise to honor America as MCA recording star Reba McEntire, whose television special, The Secret of Giving, airs tonight on CBS at 8 p.m., performs the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
Because I'm a big-time Chicago basketball player, when I fly Virgin to London, I get my own personal video screen.
David, everyone gets one.
Not unless snow comes in, my friends. I'm going Cowboys. How about them Cowboys?
The Dallas resident goes with the Cowboys. Coming up, it's game time on the NFL today. Miami and Dallas will see you back here on the NASDAQ Halftime Report. Meantime, enjoy your Thanksgiving Day here on CBS.
welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Years ago, this brash young coach blew out of the University of Miami like a hurricane with a national championship. Jimmy Johnson landed in the Lone Star State, giving thanks to a college roommate turned owner of the Cowboys. Together, these two partners rebuilt America's team and delivered back-to-back Super Bowl titles around 3 stars: Aikman, Irvin, and Smith.
What a ride it's been. Jimmy Johnson taking his team from the absolute worst to the absolute best.
But the winds of change blew through Dallas, tearing up an old friendship and sending Hurricane Jimmy back to Miami with a new team, new ambitions, and a charge of trying to rebuild a once proud but fading franchise. On the foundation of a Hall of Fame quarterback, Johnson has rebuilt the Dolphins in his own image: hungry, smart, nasty, and in your face. Today, Johnson returns to Dallas for the first time, as brash and confident as the day he left. So, football fans, gather around our table and give thanks. It's Miami at Dallas. It's a football feast with all the trimmings. Next. It's the middle of the day in Dallas, but already the stars are out. Troy Aikman returns to the Dallas starting lineup, as does Dan Marino for the Miami Dolphins. Emmitt Smith running like the Emmitt of old. Superb middle linebacker Zach Thomas. The electrifying Deion Sanders, and a thief in the Miami secondary in Sam Madison. They'll all be on display today, Thanksgiving Day, as the Miami Dolphins meet the Dallas Cowboys. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Texas Stadium. Along with my partner, Phil Simms, I'm Greg Gumbel. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you from all of us here at CBS Sports. Happy Thanksgiving to you, too.
Same to you.
You know, one of the things that you look at this game is that it's a very, very special kind of a day. It feels special on Thanksgiving Day.
Well, it does, Greg, and we talked to the players this week. It's special for them. Why? They love to play football, but athletes, they love center stage, and they have it here today.
We mentioned Dan Marino coming back. Look at the Miami Dolphins. They're 8-2, tied for their division lead, and they get Dan Marino back.
Dan Marino back, his 17th year, 60,000 passing yards. We talked to him last night. He acted like a rookie making his first start. He's so excited. And if you have any questions about him physically, I watched him in warm-ups. He threw the ball terrific, and he moved around very well.
Meanwhile, Troy Aikman comes back from a concussion, missed a couple of games, and Troy Aikman is trying to jumpstart a 5-5 Dallas team that's been up and down.
Well, they need Troy Aikman. We know Dallas can run the football. They need Troy Aikman today against this Miami defense. Find ways to get the ball down the field and to create scoring opportunities.
Miami against the Dallas Cowboys. It's everything that you can hope for on a Thanksgiving Day. We're glad that you've joined us. We're coming back for the starting kickoff on Thanksgiving Day in Dallas right after this. Texas Stadium, and let's take you down to the sideline. Armin Katayan is with the man who has come back to Dallas. Armin.
Thanks, Greg. Jimmy, it's been 5 years. You said you weren't sure how strong your emotions were going to be walking on the field. How do you feel?
Well, you know, I feel fine. The number one thing we got to do is win a ball game, and so, you know, now that we're getting into the ball game, it doesn't feel any different than any other ball game. Felt a little different out there in pregame warm-ups.
You had a nice warm welcome. Thanks for doing this. Greg, back to you.
All right, Armin. So Jimmy Johnson is back. 5 years, the head coach here at the Dallas Cowboys.
We've had a chance to do quite a few Dolphin games. We met Jimmy last night. It's not another game. Jimmy walked in, fired up. You could see the energy, and I'm sure he's transformed that to his team.
Olindo Mare will kick to the Dallas Cowboys, who won the toss and have elected to receive, and we're underway. Jeff Ogden and Jason Tucker deep. 2 yards deep in the end zone is Tucker. Slips at the 17 and is brought down at about the 18 or 19-yard line by Jerry Wilson. Troy Aikman, winner of 3 Super Bowl titles, and back from a concussion. We asked him last night about the state of his health. He said, if it were up to the doctors, he probably would not be out here, but this is where he wants to be.
Well, that's where he wants to be. That's where the Cowboys want. They need a spark on offense. We said in the opening, Greg, they think they can run the football, but what this team really needs against this defense, find ways to make the big plays.
Emmitt Smith and Robert Thomas in the I formation behind Aikman. The fake to Smith. He's going to go deep down the sideline, and it is incomplete. His receiver, Rocket Ismail, slipped on the far side. The offensive line for the Dallas Cowboys looks like this. Second-year man Flozell Adams, rookie Solomon Page on the left side, Stepnoski in the middle, Everett McIver, and Eric Williams at right tackle. Emmitt Smith and Robert Thomas in the backfield. Rocket Ismail and Ernie Mills are the wide receivers. The tight end is David LaFleur.
You look at this Miami defense, they're worried about one thing. They don't want to get mauled today by the big line of the Dallas Cowboys. They're worried about stopping Emmitt Smith.
Smith to the right side. Maybe a yard on the play. We'll give him 2 and call it 2nd and 8. Zach Thomas and Derek Rogers. And speaking of that Miami defense, here's how it looks up front. Rich Owens, Tim Bowens, Darrell Gardner, and Jason Taylor. The linebackers, Derek Rogers, Zach Thomas, and Robert Jones. At the corners, Terrell Buckley and Sam Madison. Brock Marion and Sean Wooden are the safeties. Chris Warren is into the game as the Cowboys go to 4 wide receivers on 3rd and 8. Aikman over the middle. Fine catch. Reaching behind him is Rocket Ismail, but that is short of a first down.
One of the reasons why Dallas would love to be able to run this football today is the fact 2 pass plays, and both times Troy Aikman has went down to the ground hard and fast. Worried about the pass rush of the Miami Dolphins. Rocket Ismail took a big hit. On the first pass play today, Troy Aikman really got hit by Jason Taylor. This time, a little stunt. Rich Owens comes in. Well, that's not a good hit. Just a little love tap on Thanksgiving Day.
I think Troy will take that for the rest of the afternoon. Nate Jaquette, Terrell Buckley deep for the punt from Toby Goen. This is Jaquette from the 22. To the near side, turns the corner, 35, out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. Dexter Coakley ran him out of bounds. 15-yard return of the punt, and Dan Marino, who last saw action on the 17th of October, played a couple of series before retiring from the field with a bone spur in his upper back, lower neck.
Well, I think the team's excited. Well, I know they're excited to have Dan Marino back. Greg, I watched him during warm-ups. The thing that impressed me, his arm looked really fresh, but he was moving around. The couple weeks off, it really helped his legs.
From the 39-yard line, this is J.J. Johnson, the rookie, and no gain on the play. Kavika Pittman was there along with Dexter Coakley for the stop. Let's take a look at the Dolphins' offensive line. Richmond Webb, Mark Dixon, Tim Ruddy, Kevin Gogan, the ex-Cowboy, and James Brown. J.J. Johnson and Stanley Pritchett in the backfield. Orlando Gadsden and Tony Martin are the wide receivers. Troy Drayton, the tight end. Missing from that wide receiver lineup today, O.J. McDuffie out with a sprained toe. Marino throws complete. Troy Drayton, 45, over the 45 to the 48-yard line. And he'll come up about a yard shy of a first down. A look at the Cowboy defense. Kavika Pittman, Alonzo Spellman, Chad Hennings, Greg Ellis, the front 4. The linebackers are quick. Darren Hambrick, Randall Godfrey, and Dexter Coakley. In the secondary, Charlie Williams and Deion Sanders on the corners. Darren Woodson and George Teague, the safeties. And there is Chan Gailey in his 2nd season as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Third and 1. Johnson reaching forward, and he'll be close.
Might be a big decision for Jimmy Johnson. Years ago, when he was the coach of the Cowboys, they wouldn't hesitate in this position. They would go for it because he had a terrific offensive line and his defense was the best in football. Now, it's a little different. his offensive line is not as strong as the one he had there. So most of the time they punt in these situations. Dexter Coakley, number 52, a fast linebacker, boy, makes a decision to come forward, and once he does that, he is hard to block.
That much for a first down. And Jimmy Johnson sends the punting unit onto the field. Last thing Jimmy Johnson wants to do is give the Cowboys a little momentum here at home.
I think both teams will use the same approach today, talking to Chan Gailey and Jimmy Johnson. In these situations, they'll be conservative until they need something to really spur the team on to give them a chance to win.
Jimmy Johnson told us last night, he told his punter, do not kick the ball to Deion Sanders, kick it out of bounds. So what does he do? Gets it out of bounds. So at least the first time around, Tom Hutton followed orders from the general on the sideline. We'll take a timeout. We're scoreless so far in Dallas. Rocket Ismail a little shaken up on the last play that he was involved in. And Jason Tucker, first-year man out of Texas Christian, is in the lineup. Aikman gives Emmitt Smith, hole up the middle. 40. Midfield, pulled down just shy of the 50-yard line by Zach Thomas from behind.
Last week we saw the New England Patriots have success running the football against Miami's defense by cutting back. Zach Thomas goes to the left. Emmitt Smith sees the cutback. And then the safeties. Brock Marion, number 31, misses a tackle, which makes up for a long gain. Watch Zach Thomas. You miss the tackle, you get caught up inside. Boy, has the speed to run down the running backs from behind.
Emmitt Smith against Arizona, his last time out, 29 carries, 127 yards despite a broken hand. Emmitt Smith, the pitch, right side to midfield and just across midfield. A pickup of 4. That jaunt by Emmitt Smith on the play before was good for 28 yards.
Well, you see a lot of those runs when you watch the Dallas Cowboys, but talking to Jimmy Johnson last night, I was asking him some of those questions about why is your defense giving up those runs? He says, hey, by far the weakness of our defense is a running back that goes one way and cuts it back against the grain. That is our weakness. And he goes, man, that's what Emmitt loves to do too. So very concerned about the cutback run today by Emmitt Smith.
2nd and 7. The Cowboys just across midfield in Miami territory. The pass this side is complete to Mike Lucky, the rookie tight end out of Arizona. That's an 8-yard pickup.
And if one thing the Miami Dolphins like going against the Cowboys today is their coverage of people against the Cowboy wide receivers. They think they have a tremendous advantage.
Is that a big tight end? 6'6", 273.
David LaFleur, Mike Lucky, Eric Bjornsson, all big tight ends for the Dallas Cowboys.
First down, Dallas at the 40. Emmitt Smith, right side, across the 35 to the 34.
Well, you know, you watch Emmitt Smith. A couple years ago, we came down here, did a game, and I was sitting up here going, I don't know, could be over for Emmitt Smith. He's had a lot of carries, taken a lot of hits, faking like he's going to go inside, then still using that speed to get outside. And for not a big guy, runs with a lot of power. But we asked him that question, and I kind of brought that up to him. He says, hey, a couple years ago, I had a bad ankle. I was playing hurt. And, you know, I was playing injured, and it just really affected my performance. I feel good now.
Emmitt Smith again dances his way across the line of scrimmage and close to another first down. Yes, Emmitt Smith says, and as we know, there's a difference between playing hurt and playing injured. He says he was playing injured.
And he says that ankle hurt so bad. He goes, Phil, it was like I was out there running on a flat tire. And I'm sure it did. But to his credit, he hung in there, kept coming back, kept running the football, not having great success, and he handled all the criticism very well.
Meanwhile, on the other sideline, Jimmy Johnson said it last night. The Dallas Cowboys like to beat you with trick plays. We have to stop those, and we have to stop Emmitt Smith.
Yeah, he knows that, because teams are starting to figure out against this Miami defense, just run the football right at them as hard as you can, and that's what the Dallas Cowboys are all about.
That's another Dallas first down. They've moved to the 30-yard line. Emmitt Smith now 5 carries, 43 yards. As you look at the performances in the first half of the last 2 games.
You know, a lot of people look and they think this Dallas Cowboys team Where's all the talent? A lot of it is right inside on that offensive line.
Emmitt Smith again for a couple.
You know, also last night we were talking to Jimmy Johnson, and I thought it was kind of funny, and it made me think. I said, boy, he's right. What did he worry about this Dallas Cowboy team today? He says, you know, they got some stars, and those stars, man, they love a big stage. And he was very concerned about Emmitt, Troy, Deion
Sanders.
He says, look, they know the spotlight's on them, and they love performing in it.
He had the little sparkle in his eye. He said, it's Thanksgiving Day. You know Deion is going to try to do something spectacular.
That's right.
3 tight ends for the Cowboys. Pitch it to Emmitt again. This time there's nowhere to go. He's bundled up by Derek Rogers leading the charge, number 59.
Well, this time what happens? Miami just goes, well, we figured this out. The defense, 4 defensive linemen, just attacking the line of scrimmage. Derek Rogers, number 59, does a good job of coming through unblocked and making the tackle.
Derek Rogers in his 3rd season out of Arizona State.
This is a situation they want. Chan Gailey very worried about Jason Taylor going against this left tackle, Flozell Adams.
From the shotgun. Whistle blows. This play doesn't count. There's a penalty marker down. Zach Thomas and Chris Warren doing a little dance at midfield.
Ball start, number 76, offense. Still 3rd down.
Flozell Adams, the left tackle.
Well, number 76, when you play Jason Taylor, there he is. Well, you can't miss him. My gosh, he's covering the whole screen. Just a little quick with the start. Boy, gets those hands up there. And we saw right here, Jason Taylor, if Flozell Adams gets those big arms on you, you're going down.
Dallas Cowboys, penalties, they've not treated them well this season.
Well, I think they've given up the most penalty yards in the NFL so far this year. That's one of the reasons why they're 5-5.
5 wide receivers for Aikman on 3rd and 15. Quick pass. It is incomplete and almost intercepted by Sam Madison.
Well, Sam Madison, this guy, a lot of good things you can say about him. Dallas gives a formation. Everybody goes to the right side for Troy Aikman. There are 2 people on the left side of the field. One of them is Sam Madison. And I don't know if I would, he's kind of getting like Deion Sanders. I don't know if I'd test him a whole lot.
And Aikman and the Cowboys are going for it on 4th down. They need the 20-yard line for a 1st down. Aikman throws and comes up short of his man crossing the field, Ernie Mills. Jerry Wilson was on Mills' back, and the Miami Dolphins will take over when we come back to Dallas in just a moment.
Brewing is really both an art.
From all of your friends at Anheuser-Busch, happy Thanksgiving. Dan Marino and the Dolphins take over, 1st down at 35. J.J. Johnson. Not much running room up the middle. The ball is loose, but the officials whistle it dead.
J.J. Johnson on the carry.
And Kevin Gogan, the ex-Cowboy, having a conversation with Alonzo Spellman.
No replay. Once they blow it dead, once they point to the ground, it's over. I think the Miami Dolphins, they know running the football could be tough. Dallas, the strength of this defense, up front, the 4-down linemen, the 3 linebackers. Throwing the football is where I think you can take advantage of them.
Saw him, Dan Marino flexing his right arm. Play clock winding down. Quick drop, throws, incomplete, intended for Troy Drayton, and there's the penalty marker.
Defense. 1st down.
I believe it was number 25, Charlie Williams, not number 26.
Troy, here he is. Troy Drayton going to go up the field. Little out and up, trying to catch. Boy, they got a good lane to throw it in. But contact down the field, good call.
It is Charlie Williams starting at corner in place of injured Kevin Smith. So a Miami first down at the 48. Here comes the blitz. Quick pass by Marino. Drayton has it midfield, forward across the 45 to about the 42-yard line. Fine effort by the tight end, Troy Drayton, and it appears to be enough for a first down.
Troy Drayton likes taking these one-yard passes and delivering some punishment. 2 times so far today. Gone out in the flat. Marino on the blitz, getting rid of the football quick. And you can look at Troy Drayton and see that he's so big, hard to bring down.
Drayton came into the action today with 23 catches for 223 yards and a touchdown. Marino hands off to Johnson, diving forward to the 37.
I tell you, Dan Marino, he can make some of those handoffs look like work. He just barely can get there in time to get it to those running backs.
You know, we've seen a lot of Dan, and talking with him last night, he appeared to be about as relaxed as I've ever seen him.
Yeah, he was so excited to finally be back in the lineup. Looks like James Brown is down, number 76.
So James Brown, the 7th-year tackle out of Virginia State, is down on the ground, and we'll pause for a moment on this Thanksgiving Day and come right back. Welcome back to Texas Stadium. And once again, happy Thanksgiving to all of you. We're glad you've joined us for this matchup between the Dolphins and the Cowboys. We are scoreless, coming up on 4 minutes to play here in the first quarter, but the Dolphins are driving. Marino, quick drop, quick pass, and it is incomplete. Tony Martin diving, couldn't come up with it.
Well, just a quick throw by Dan Marino to Tony Martin. This is something they really want to do today. Good matchups all over the field for number 80, Tony Martin. Good route, he's open. Dan Marino being a little careful with the football. Tony Martin unable to come up with it.
Yeah, we told you about tackle James Brown. Left the field for a play, and he is back into the lineup now. 3rd and 6. Screen. 35 to the 34. J.J. Johnson will be a couple of yards shy of the first down.
Well, that's so typical of this Dallas defense. You look like, as I set up here, the screen play, I go, wow, what a perfect call. It looks like you're going to pick up about 10 yards, but the speed of the front 7 is so good that they can take plays, look like they're going to get a lot of yards, and make them into 5-yard gains.
Into the game now is Olindo Mare with 103 points. The leading scorer in the National Football League, has hit from 54, 53, and 51 yards. This one will be a 52-yard attempt. It's going to be long enough, but not straight enough. So the first scoring attempt of the day goes wide, and we are still scoreless in Dallas. A gorgeous Thanksgiving Day afternoon in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. You look at Chan Gailey looking for a way to dent the scoreboard against the talented Miami defense. First down for Aikman and the Cowboys at their own 42. Play fake. Aikman going to go deep down the middle, has his man, 25, 22-yard line, Jason Tucker, and a penalty marker is down.
We have 2 penalty markers, one in the backfield, maybe for offensive holding, and then face mask by Terrell Buckley.
Our referee today is Johnny Greer.
That was really a terrific throw.
Illegal hands to the face. Number 79, offense. Personal foul, face mask. Number 27, defense. The penalties offset. Will replay first down.
The penalty against Miami is against cornerback Terrell Buckley. The penalty on offense is right tackle number 79, Eric Williams.
Well, this Miami defense, the one thing they're going to let you do is go down the field, a chance for some big plays. And Terrell Buckley, once you put that hand on the face mask, if you keep it there, it's going to be a 15-yard penalty.
So much ado about nothing. We'll replay it. 1st and 10. This time the handoff to Smith. And Smith is racked up short of the 45.
Well, Greg, you're the Dallas Cowboys. You got to be, man, I mean, you got to be really disappointed. You get a chance to make 3 or 4 big plays in the passing game every time, and that was one of them. They set it up perfectly. They faked the run. They've been running it well. Nobody back there. Troy Aikman throws a perfect pass, and what do you get? Nothing. So they're having trouble making those big plays in the passing game, and penalties again, hurting the Cowboys.
Emmitt Smith up to 45 yards on the day. Aikman on the quick slant, incomplete to Jason Tucker. And a fine play by Sam Madison.
Well, Sam Madison, every time we do a Dolphin game, the opposing quarterback or whoever it is, or the coach, says one thing. This Miami defense tries to give up nothing. A lot of teams will let you throw the ball short and then try to tackle you. Not Miami. They contest every short throw.
A couple of things about this day for Sam Madison. He says it's his first time ever against Troy Aikman, and it's something special being on the same field with Deion Sanders.
Says he's going to pay attention to the day when he's on the sidelines because he wants to watch what Deion's doing.
From the shotgun, 3rd and 8 in the face of a blitz, complete to Tucker. Tucker down the sidelines, out of bounds, first down Dallas.
The Cowboys doing a good job down the field, causing some confusion for the Miami defense. That's why Jason Tucker is wide open to the right, and Troy Aikman takes a little something off of it to make sure the young wide receiver makes the catch. You know, you watch Troy Aikman throws the ball with such accuracy. I think that put him over 30,000 yards now for his career.
30,017 to be exact.
It's pretty impressive in the years he's been in the league and with a team that's run the ball so well since he's been down here.
Emmitt Smith close to the 35.
But, you know, Greg, we were talking to Chan Gailey, let's see, yesterday. I almost said Saturday because we're doing a game. It should be Sunday, but
getting your days mixed up.
That's right. Well, that's nothing new there. But Chan Gailey, we asked him about Troy Aikman, has nothing but good things to say. And I said, what do you worry about him out there playing? And he goes, yeah, I worry about Troy Aikman, the person out there. I don't want something to happen to him. And so I said, will that affect your play call? And he says, absolutely. I will be careful how I call plays because I am not going to put him at risk.
Pitch to Emmitt Smith, and Emmitt Smith hit hard at the 35. Chances are it was Zach Thomas.
That's just like a guess, right?
Yeah.
That, oh, Zach Thomas on another tackle. That's something unique. Number 54, Texas boy, coming across. That's what he does. He just runs around. Solomon Page. Oh, and he gets in there and gets a lick. I asked him, so you're from Texas, Zach? You must be a Cowboy fan. He goes, no. I go, really? And he goes, no, I'm a Chicago Bear fan. So I knew when he said that, why. His idol, Mike Singletary.
Zach with more than 30 family and friends coming to the game today. Chris Warren, following block, gets tripped up and a penalty marker flies.
Chris Warren on the carry, flags down the play.
Now you talk about Zach Thomas, Greg, you're right. He says, I got tremendous motivation. All my friends are coming to the games, and they're all Cowboy fans. And I don't want to hear it from them if we happen to lose. So he seemed pretty fired up to play today.
Holding, 77, offense, still 3rd down.
That's the rookie Solomon Page.
See, but it's a good thing Zach's family is here today, because if they weren't here, they might not see the game. Because we asked him, what do you do on Thanksgivings when you're growing up? He says, well, we eat a lot of food. And we kind of watch the first football game, but we eat so much food, usually we sleep through the second game. So then he goes, are we the second game tomorrow? Yes.
Read about it the next day.
Yeah, that's right. Zach, you are the second game.
Time winding down here in the first quarter. Movement on the right side and another penalty. Eric Williams is over there.
I think the thing that surprised me about this game.
Start, number 79, offense. Still 3rd down.
Being our first chance to do the Dallas Cowboys was the fact that they get penalized so much. I just wouldn't think of it with this team, with Chan Gailey, with some of the veterans. Penalties are killing them.
Well, it hasn't helped. In the criticism of this team in general and Chan Gailey in particular, there has been a lot of it. And time runs out on the first quarter. We've played one here at Dallas. Both teams have threatened. There's been no scoring so far. On Thanksgiving Day, it's Miami nothing and Dallas nothing. We're coming back to Texas Stadium after this.
Back at Texas Stadium, I'm Armin Katayan with the 32nd rendition of this great Thanksgiving Day tradition. It actually began back in 1966 when then Commissioner Pete Rozelle of the National Football League was looking for a second team to host a Thanksgiving Day game. No one really wanted it until Tex Schramm, who was then the president of the Cowboys, said, you know what, I'll take it, being an old TV guy. He took it. The Cowboys have held on for 32 years. The interesting part, Rozelle was so concerned about that first Thanksgiving Day game, he guaranteed a sellout of the game. They didn't need it, Greg. More than 80,000 people showed up in the Cotton Bowl that day. That remains the largest turnout ever for a Cowboys home game. Back to you.
Armin, I believe you exceeded your 30 seconds, but not bad.
Yeah, well, it's good. But he's right. The Dallas Cowboys, you know, years ago there was like an uproar. Everybody says, hey, it's an unfair advantage for Detroit and Dallas to have those Thanksgiving Day games. But some of the owners stood up and said, look, they took it when nobody else wanted. We're going to stay with the tradition. And they did. I think that's the right decision.
Toby Goen kicking it away to Terrell Buckley. Sky-high punt. Buckley lets it bounce inside the 5, and it rolls through the end zone. So a 51-yard punt gets no return. These two teams still feeling each other out. We'll be right back. On the NASDAQ halftime report, join Jim, Craig, Randy, and Jerry. First half analysis of this game, highlights of Chicago and Detroit, and a special concert featuring Clint Black with Lisa Hartman Black. That's all coming up on the NASDAQ halftime report. On first down, J.J. Johnson with a little bit of room up the middle for 3, maybe 4 yards. Brought down by Dexter Coakley. J.J. Johnson last week, or Sunday, just a few days ago against the New England Patriots, registered his first 100-yard game of his career.
Well, I said last week what they like about J.J. Johnson, a complete back, can run hard, catch the football, blocks very well, protecting the quarterback, and has the speed to go outside and get you those extra yards.
Has his chance to perform with fellow rookie Cecil Collins out with a broken bone in his leg. 2nd and 6, movement. Penalty markers fly.
What is this, Greg? This is the 4th Miami Dolphin game we've done, I think so.
Ball start, 78, offense.
Richmond Webb.
Still second down.
Well, I was just corrected by our producer, Mark Wolf. He goes 5th, but we've done 5 games. The one thing we know about this Miami team when you watch them play on both, they can play some ugly games. You know, they can just, it's just the way they play. They're going to try to run it. Their defense is aggressive. It's going to be low scoring, so don't expect to come and turn it on and think you're going to see the ball flying everywhere and all those pretty plays being made.
Not much in total yards as yet for the Dolphins. 2nd and 11. Marino throws incomplete, had a hand in his face. Pritchett was his intended receiver.
And a young guy, Greg Ellis, number 98, getting back to the quarterback. We had a chance, Leon Lett. That makes it a little difficult, too, trying to throw over him. But this, I think the thing that surprised me coming down here and watching this team and trying to learn a lot about them and seeing them on film is that they got some terrific up-front defensive linemen, and a lot of them, and that's why it's hard to move the ball in this defense.
Miami 0 for 2 on 3rd down so far today. Marino needs the 30-yard line for a first down. Blitz. Marino with time, throws, complete, first down. Across the 35 to the 37-yard line, Tony Martin.
Well, Dan Marino, anytime you see him sit back in the pocket and get about 2 little hops. Let's watch him this time. This is why he's thrown for 60,000 yards. Hops, steps up into the pocket, finds the open receiver and makes the throw. Most quarterbacks, you get back there, you feel the pressure, you panic, you go sideways, you get sacked. Dan Marino always lets his offensive linemen keep protecting him. He steps up inside.
First down, goes back to the ground game with J.J. Johnson and nothing doing up the middle as he is stacked up.
You know, I worry as I watch Dan Marino, we kind of laugh because we had him early in the year, and the one thing he can do, the man can lick those hands, and there he goes. You know, he's not in shape. He might have to like wet his towel to get some moisture because.
Well, no, you say that like you never did that.
Well, I did it a little, but I didn't stick my whole hand in my mouth like Dan does. And he does it. Don't think he just does it on pass plays. He does it every play.
2nd and 11. Gone. Throws it incomplete. Tony Martin had it bounce off his hands, and there's a marker down.
Personal foul.
Roughing the passer.
See, those are the important things, though, Greg, that I learned in those film sessions. You know, Dan licking his hands and all the, well, you wouldn't know because you're usually sleeping during them sessions, but that's okay.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 96, defense. First down.
The rookie out of North Carolina, Ebenezer Ekuban.
Ebenezer Ekuban, number 96, coming around. Here he is. Let's see. Oh, definitely late. And you go, well, that's not a big hit. It doesn't matter. I don't care if it's big. When you hit the quarterback late like that, you're not supposed to. He had 2 big steps. You just got to pull off.
The great unknown for the Miami Dolphins today is how will Dan Marino react to a good solid hit. First down at the 49. Johnson breaks the tackle forward to the 45.
Well, the 2 things that have been a trend when you watch the Dolphins, you can run on them early, but they seem to find a way to stop it as the game goes on. And the other thing, the running game always looks terrible early, but they stay with it, and all of a sudden, their offensive linemen are starting to get trained now. They hang in there. They're pretty tough, and they're learning to get some yards as the game goes on.
You know, you were talking about Dan Marino licking his hand. It strikes me. We caught him on the sideline licking his hand a couple of weeks ago. He wasn't even playing.
Yes.
On 2nd and 6. Into the flat, incomplete. That's Johnson out of the backfield. And another marker is down.
Didn't see what happened.
Number 25, defense. First down.
That's Charlie Williams. Starting at cornerback today with injuries to both Kevin Smith and Kevin Mathis. That's the second penalty against him today.
I'm sorry, Greg. The secondary for the Cowboys so beat up. If this secondary was completely healthy, this defense would be awesome. That means you could put Deion Sanders on one side. He could take the team's best receiver out, and the other ones could do whatever they had to do to stop everybody else. But everybody beat up. Makes them play a little more conservative than they would like to.
On first down at the 40, Marino with time, throws, and caught inside the 25-yard line. What a grab by Oronde Gadsden.
I tell you 2 things, Greg. Oronde Gadsden, what he does, big receiver, and he plays big. Makes the tough catches over the middle. But Dan Marino sees trouble in front. He throws it behind on purpose because Deion Sanders was in front of him waiting for the ball.
Jimmy Johnson says, seems like every day in practice, Oronde Gadsden makes a great play.
Oh, and I tell you, 2 years ago, I said, this guy will be a one-year wonder. There's no way he can make it in the NFL, and we see it every week, too.
Johnson across the 20, bulls his way to the 18-yard line. Darren Woodson with the tackle after a 5-yard gain.
Now, you think it'd be hard to just keep running the football at the Dallas Cowboys because we talked to Dave Campo, the defensive coordinator, and they play 8 defensive linemen, almost all of them about an equal amount of time. So what did one offensive lineman say to us during the year? It was Ruben Brown for the Buffalo Bills. He says they need to institute a rule. If you start the game, you got to play it as a defensive lineman because you can never get them tired. Everybody plays so many of them.
8th play of the drive. Pitch to Johnson. He eludes one tackle in the backfield, but can't elude them all. Randall Godfrey leading the charge. And it'll be 3rd down.
Well, you get down here, Dan Marino, I think he's had enough snaps. He's dropped back enough times in this game where Jimmy Johnson, they can start letting the play calling get a little looser, a little more aggressive, and try to put the ball in Dan Marino's hands in a more consistent basis, and I think he'll deliver a better performance.
3rd and 8. To get a first down, they need to reach the 13-yard line. Marino throws the quick slant complete inside the 10 to Oronde Gadsden, and it's a 1st and goal for the Miami Dolphins.
Well, I'm starting to see the reason why that he threw for over 60,000 yards so far in his career. There's such a small window to where to throw that football in, and what does it? Accuracy, of course, is very important, but the fact Marino can take the snap and get rid of it so fast before the defense can see him and react to the throw.
First and goal for the Dolphins. Johnson, and nothing there.
Well, we saw how they were last week in the red zone, the Miami Dolphins, but overall this year, they have not been very good once they get down inside. And the main reason is, early in the year especially, they just couldn't run it at all when they wanted to, when they got inside the five-yard line to try to score and put themselves in so many tough situations.
Play number 11 on this drive. Quick drop, lobs the end zone. It is intercepted. Intercepted by Deion Sanders. The first time they throw Deion's way today, and he gets a pick.
Not a good decision by Dan Marino. There's two defenders out there. He takes a chance. Deion Sanders, with perfect technique, makes the interception. Said, well, you think Dan Marino's going to throw your way tomorrow? And he goes, he ain't crazy. He says he might test me with some of those short ones, but he won't go down the field too often against me.
From the 20-yard line, Emmitt Smith for a couple.
Well, let's take a look at the interception. Deion Sanders, the Cowboys are in a defense, and the main reason the defense they're playing is to stop this type of pass. Look, George Teague is out on the outside, so is Deion Sanders. Deion stayed to the outside of the receiver the whole time. Teague knocks up in the air, and that's the reason why he was able to get the interception.
Deion Sanders' second interception of the season, and that's Rocket Ismail, injured on the first series of the game, leaving the field. Aikman buying time and now throws incomplete. Far sideline, intended for tight end David LaFleur. Miami Dolphins linebacker Zach Thomas is earning his master's degree in the School of Hard Knocks. See his story on NFL.com and look for Phil Simms online. Him just having recently learned to operate a computer.
You know, you're always making fun of me like that.
You are the cyber analyst.
Can I send you a message? It's just you and I can, you know, so nobody else can read it.
I suppose some people call it that.
Yeah. All right, I'll give you a good one.
5 wide receivers for Aikman from the shotgun on 3rd and 7. Pass to the side complete. Chris Warren diving for the first down marker, and he got enough for the first down.
That's the one thing when I watch this Dallas Cowboy team that kind of jumps out at me, that Chris Warren, number 24, lines up as a wide receiver a lot in 3rd down situations, and he is a terrific route runner for a big running back. And that time he's matched up against Jerry Wilson. Most of the time he makes those quick moves, goes outside, but he also goes down the field every once in a while and catches a big pass from Troy Aikman.
Chris Warren, 8 seasons in Seattle, now in his 2nd year with the Cowboys. On first down, little toss for Emmitt Smith, hops a tackler for a couple of yards.
You know, we watched Rocket Ismail walking off the field, Greg, and you know, we talked to Troy. Oh, Troy's got a little blood going on his nose. I didn't see that when it happened.
But just Sunday, we saw Damon Heward give up a lot of blood from a broken nose.
Well, let's take a look at how Troy Aikman cut his nose. Going to go down. Oh, and the face mask hits, probably drives the helmet down.
And that's tiny Darrell Gardner, all 6'6", 315 pounds of him falling on Aikman. 2nd and 8. Not much at all on the run.
Well, the point I was going to get to, you can see, if you're at home, you can see how Miami is just coming to the line of scrimmage is because they do not respect the wide receivers for the Dallas Cowboys. And Troy Aikman said to us he was given a description of the wide receivers, and he talked about Rocket Ismail, Ernie Mills, and he says, you know, but when we go to 4 wide receivers, I don't know if we got 4, but we're going to put them out there and just see what happens. So they are thin and inexperienced at the wide receiver position, the Cowboys are.
They go to 4 wide on 3rd and 10. Aikman throws over the middle, complete, but that's only going to get a couple. Wayne McGarity, the rookie out of Texas, ridden down by Patrick Surtain.
And Troy Aikman coming off those concussions, or the concussion he had a couple weeks ago. If you're going to play Miami, you're a quarterback. We hear it from coaches too, Greg. You're just going to take hits. If you're the quarterback, you're going to go to the ground. You're going to take some big hits in passing situations.
Nate Jaquette and Terrell Buckley are deep for the anticipated kick from Toby Gowen. High floating kick, Jaquette from the 22, and met and brought down right there. 41, Wendell Davis with the fine special teams play for the Cowboys. Timeout at Texas Stadium.
On CBS is sponsored by the American General Financial Group. Live the life you've imagined. Norelco, for an unexpectedly close shave guarantee. Put it to the test. And by the new redesigned Saturn S-Series.
And we remind you, these live shots high above Texas Stadium provided by Budweiser, an official sponsor of the NFL. All of your friends at Anheuser-Busch would like to wish you the happiest of Thanksgivings. And we are at ours as well as Michael Irvin looks on from the sideline. First down Miami at the Dolphins 20-yard line. Marino throws this side, complete to Pritchett out of the backfield. A pickup of about 6 on the play, out to the 26-yard line.
Well, the one thing the fullbacks for the Miami Dolphins do, they catch the football very well, and Robert Conrad has been the starter. This week, Stanley Pritchett, number 36, he's in there, and I got a feeling one of the reasons why Conrad is not in that lineup, you want to get taken out quick for Jimmy Johnson, fumble the football, and see what happens to your playing time.
2nd and 4. Play fake, arm pump, Marino goes down. Brandon Noble, number 75, registers the first sack of the day.
That's just overpowering the Miami offensive line. They're playing pass, they push the pocket. Marino, he looks, doesn't see the first receiver open, steps up. Actually, this time he steps up into trouble. And look at Michael Irvin, even though he's not playing, getting pretty excited about what's happening.
Sidelined by a bruised spinal cord. You heard Jerry Johnson talk about him in the pregame show. 3rd and 11. And flags fly, whistles blow.
Kevin Gogan and Alonzo Spellman pushing around a little.
For the 2nd time today.
I don't know who you declare the favorite in that war, just that it'd be a big war.
Well, there's still a debate going on.
Yeah, so what's your mom making for Thanksgiving? She's making pumpkin pie. Oh, heck,
I don't like pumpkin pie. I like mincemeat pie.
Yeah. That's how they talk on the field, though, Greg. I never told you.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, the left side of the line. Still 3rd down.
The entire left side of the line.
That's when you're too big. You just can't keep yourself from being over the line. But that's a good break for the Miami Dolphins. It puts them in a situation where they have a much better chance of completing a 3rd down pass and picking up a 1st down. Gives Dan Marino a chance to get rid of the football faster.
Marino out of the shotgun. Throws over the middle. It is incomplete. Intended for Yatil Green, number 87. Pressed into service today with the injury to Oronde Gadsden. The young man who has had knee injuries the first 2 years of his NFL career and is only just now getting a chance to show what he can do.
Dan Marino says there might not be anybody in the NFL as fast as Yatil Green. And I said, what about the receiver? And he goes, just like his name, he is young and he is green.
Deion Sanders will watch this one float and catch it at the 30 and peel back. and is knocked down at the 24-yard line by Larry Izzo, special teamer extraordinaire. We're still scoreless in Dallas. Well, at the end of the day, we'll be awarding this bad boy to some proud recipient. It'll be the second annual Ironman Award, and it's just simply the toughest player of the day out there on the field.
Well, God does a little bit of everything. Of course, you got to be tough, Greg. You play football, you're a tough guy, but I just want to make sure you don't try to keep it for yourself, because you're, you're not that tough. But I think the big thing is who pays attention, who does all the little things right, and it has some impact. Of course, got to have a big impact on the game.
Aikman gets rid of it and throws incomplete. In on him was Rich Owens, and a penalty marker is down.
I think it's going to be intentional grounding. Yes, nobody in the vicinity of the throw, and Troy Aikman getting up a little slow, which I've been watching him all day long. He looks like he's a little stiff.
Intentional grounding, number 8, offense. That's also a loss of down. Second down.
There's the box. Troy Aikman's got to be inside, tight end to tight end. He's almost behind the center, and look, there is nobody around. But the pressure, Rich Owens, number 96, he's been back there a couple times today, and the Dolphins, that whole defensive line just taking turns hitting Mr. Aikman.
So it's loss of down, and it's 2nd and 10. Aikman straight drop, throws somebody out there now, and it's Robert Thomas. Out of bounds close to the 20-yard line.
Greg, when you're a quarterback and you keep getting hit as you drop back to pass, it's hard to make good decisions down the field because you're going, well, where's the hit coming from?
It has been a tough day for Troy Aikman. You consider that this is someone coming off of a concussion, and he said, quite frankly, if the doctors had their druthers, I wouldn't be out there.
And I think you got to know, and we said it earlier, even Shane Gailey concerned about it, but you got to know when you play the Dolphins, it's hard to protect the quarterback.
5 wide receivers on 3rd and 15. Quick slant, popped in the air, incomplete, intended for Jason Tucker. And the Cowboys will kick it away. Patrick Surtain playing the tight defense. And by the way, it's only fair to remind our viewers that this Iron Man concept comes from the fact that Phil Simms stands in his hotel room on game day and irons his clothes himself.
And you know what is amazing? You think that is so funny.
I don't think it's
funny.
And
what happens?
I'm impressed.
Well, when we talk to all the players, you come up, do you iron your clothes? And what's the answer?
They say, well, some of them say yes.
Almost all of them.
Well, almost all of them. Well,
so you're in the minority.
Well, you can't waste that per diem if you're a player. High floater by Goen from the 36-yard line. Jacquet trying to turn the corner, and brought down just across the 45 at about the 47-yard line. So the Dolphins and Dan Marino will have good field position when we come back.
Yes, I am freshly pressed today, Greg. Yes, that's right. I'm ready.
2:01 to play here in the first half. It'll be a running play. J.J. Johnson with all kinds of room across the 45 to about the 43-yard line, and brought down by Darren Hembrick. 2-minute warning comes our way.
Hey, what? You think the coaches are not in this game? He says something to Clarence Shellman, the running back, and boy, he jumps right at him. That's it, Coach. Don't take it from the player. I don't blame you.
I think they were just saying Happy Thanksgiving to each other. Dan Marino. Straight drop. Throws. Complete. Stanley Pritchett. And Pritchett close to a first down.
Well, you look at the Miami Dolphins. They missed a long field goal. They had a chance to score. Dan Marino throws an interception on a 2nd down. So they've had a chance, for Miami, this is dominating the game, getting scoring opportunities like that. Here they are down there again. I think they need to come out with some points.
Under a minute and a half on the ground. J.J. Johnson to about the 31. And Brandon Noble with the stop.
Well, Greg, I'm just saying you need to come out with some points just to give your team some confidence and feel good as they go in at halftime.
Timeout called on the field to stop the clock. 1:14 to play in the first half. We'll be right back. On the blitz, throws far side. It is almost picked off by Charlie Williams. Tony Martin is intended receiver out there, and I'm sure Marino wanted to get that one there a little quicker than he did.
Well, it's not only quicker, he'd like to throw it a little harder, but what happens? Watch well, you can't see Dan Marino. Tony Martin wide open, but the pass rush was at the feet of Dan Marino. He had to throw the football leaning backwards. It hangs in the air, and a good break by the cornerback trying to get the interception.
3rd and 8. And the Dolphins, 2 out of 5 on 3rd down so far today. You see Marino's numbers. Pass is incomplete. Intended for J.J. Johnson, but it hit Darren Woodson in the back. And here comes Olindo Mare.
Good job by the Dallas defense. Nobody open down the field. Send in the kicking machine.
Mare's 29 field goals are the most in the National Football League. Missed earlier from 52, this one from 48 yards. Blocked. Someone, it sounded like, had a hand on it at the line of scrimmage.
No question. Somebody got up and got their hand on it. Not sure which player did it. Joe Avisano, special teams coach. Not a surprise. Look inside. Oh, it looked like number 76, Flozell Adams, an offensive lineman in there. Here he is. I couldn't tell.
Well, Linda, and you know, even with that, he almost got it.
He was optimistic there. Well, listen, the Dallas Cowboys, Shane Gailey said, I want to make sure our offense doesn't make mistakes because I want to see if Miami's offense can win the game, and so far it's worked for him.
Aikman down the far sideline. It is incomplete off the fingertips of the rookie Wayne McGarity.
Boy, perfect throw by Troy Aikman. He got what he wanted. Sam Madison overplaying. Gets the step. I can imagine. I can't imagine what goes through a receiver's mind as he's running down the field. Here comes the football. What do you start thinking? Oh, my gosh. I know what I'd be thinking. I'll drop it.
That's about as even a first half as we can get. Aikman under the gun, throws, complete, and out of bounds. There's a penalty marker down. The pass is complete to Jason Tucker.
Jerry Wilson, number 24. Comes in. The hit does not look that late. The question is, did he lead with his helmet?
Well, that's Jerry Wilson pleading his case, and Johnny Greer isn't listening.
And I'll tell you what, Troy Aikman had no idea it was coming.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 24, defense, first down.
It's a blitz from the top of the screen. Nobody has him. Ball's away. There's the hit. Let's watch what he does.
Well, he didn't lead with his helmet.
No, he didn't lead, and I think Johnny Greer just felt you could have pulled off. You didn't do it. And, Greg, I say it all the time. When in doubt, they're going to throw that flag when it comes to protecting a player on the field.
30-yard line for Aikman. Going to go down the sideline. It is incomplete, intended for tight end David LaFleur. And a penalty marker is down. And the Dolphins say this one is on Dallas. And I believe, if you're a lip reader, you saw offensive pass interference.
Pass interference, 89, offense.
And we talked about how penalties kill the Dallas Cowboys. This could be a killer.
Well, we're getting some action, though, Greg. It's getting late in the first half, and if we can't get it in scoring opportunities, we'll get it in penalties. But Robert Jones, well, David LaFleur is a big guy, and, you know, so is the linebacker. Didn't look like much to throw the penalty flag on that time. That was a big play. It hurts the Dallas Cowboys.
We've seen tougher contact than that in the huddle. From the 40, Emmitt Smith. And Zach Thomas with the tackle. Timeout on the field. Dallas. 39 seconds to play in the first half. We're coming back after this.
Timeouts, plenty of time. Chan Gailey ran the football on that first down play, 1st and 20. He at least wants to give his team a chance to kick a field goal. That's the #1 thing you want to do. At least have a chance to put some points on the board before you try to go down the field and score a touchdown.
Cowboy place kicker Richie Cunningham has been less than reliable. Aikman over the middle, incomplete, in and out of the hands of Ernie Mills. And that stops the clock with 36 seconds to play.
Well, Troy Aikman not as sharp as we usually see him throwing the football down the field. Ernie Mills, full speed across. Well, that's I was going to say it was a little behind.
You got to catch that.
Yes, absolutely. Got to catch it. I think what happens is when you run those routes across the field, you're going real fast. They're anticipating the hit. He saw Brock Marion coming up. Takes the concentration off the football.
3rd and very long for the Cowboys. Aikman throws, incomplete, dropped by Ernie Mills.
Well, you can see the plan. The Dallas Cowboys, they're not going vertically down the field. They're running across. And they run across because that gives their receivers the best chance to get away from the fast defensive backs of the Miami Dolphins. And, you know, it's a safer thing to do.
Richie Cunningham will not come out and attempt a long field goal. Cunningham, this season, just 8 of 17 in the field goal department. And he is 3 of 8 between 40 and 49 yards. 4th and 16. Aikman and Cowboys go for it. Gone. Sideline incomplete. Wayne McGarity, the rookie, the intended receiver.
Tough decision there. Do you try the long field goal? Well, Cunningham hasn't been kicking good. If you miss it, Miami will get the ball in really good field position. They do now, too. 26 seconds to go. 2 timeouts. It gives you a chance for 1 or 2 completions. Miami can have a chance to kick a long field goal.
Aikman not at all pleased as he goes to the sideline.
You know, Chan Gailey, he didn't even hesitate. So that tells you what he's thinking about his place kicker and what they've accomplished so far this year.
So Miami with 2 timeouts and 26 seconds to play as you look at the numbers on Marino and Aikman returning to action today.
Just remember, they're both going against, these are 2 excellent defenses.
Marino, incomplete. Rob Conrad out of the backfield. And Marino pulls himself off the turf after the hit from Chad Hennings. Well, I'm not sure it was the first half we expected, Phil.
I'm sorry, what was that, Greg?
I said I'm not sure it was the first half we expected.
I don't know. It's not far off of it because, we knew one thing. Both coaches kind of said, well, we know it's going to be low scoring. You know, I expected a field goal, maybe a surprise touchdown somewhere, but...
Well, the Cowboys have been famous for getting off the mark in a hurry in the first half. J.J. Johnson carries the ball and is brought up short of the 40-yard line.
Well, they're just going to let the first half, well, they're going to call a timeout.
We'll take this opportunity to tell you that later tonight, stay right where you are. Entertainer of the Year, Shania Twain, rocks Texas Stadium in an all-new concert special. Shania Twain. That's tonight at 8 Eastern and Pacific, 7 Central, and that's here on CBS.
All right.
Shania Twain tonight. Clint Black coming up at halftime.
A lot of music. You're a music lover.
Where are my boots?
All right. This man, Greg Gumbel, he knows the word to every song. I love going, you know, and you sing, too.
I do. Quite well, I might add.
You know,
well. You see the timeouts remaining?
You know, I tell you, I promise you there's going to be some points in the second half. They're going to get it going.
One of Chan Gailey's big problems has been his Cowboys grabbing a lead and then losing it in the second half. Marino. Going to go deep. Down the middle. Incomplete. And time runs down. Teams went back and forth. No one with any points on the board. Our halftime score, Miami nothing, Dallas nothing. Coming up, Jim Nance in New York with the NASDAQ halftime report.
Everybody, Jim Nance with you from the NFL Today studios in New York. Welcome to the NASDAQ halftime report. Hope you're enjoying this thriller. 0-0 at halftime. Greg James, along with Randy Cross, and the coach, Jerry Glanville, who just a week ago said he loved that one. You love that 6-3 Jacksonville-Baltimore game. You must just be feasting on this right now.
Well, I'm talking about feasting. I got a can of bean dip for Thanksgiving dinner with a bag of Fritos. I love this game. 0-0. Couldn't be any better.
That's one thing about a game like this. You waited for two great quarterbacks to come back. And it's all kind of defense.
They should have stayed injured.
I said earlier on the NFL Today that Emmitt Smith has to pound the ball and get in there. I was right about that. He's got 56 yards. What I forgot to mention was a little thing about Dallas having more penalty yards than anybody else. They got 9 penalties so far. They've been killing themselves.
And on the same show, Senator, we're talking about the big plays that Dallas needs to get. Dallas needs big plays. They need to get down the field. Without Rocket Ismail in that ballgame, it's going to really hurt and restrict that offense. Another thing I noticed before halftime, Chan Gailey has zero confidence in Richie Cunningham. He's killing the guy. Get rid of him if you don't want the guy. Let him kick the field goal. He's trying to protect his team right now. He can't do that.
Happy days are over for Richie Cunningham. I promise you.
Hey, you've been saving that one up for a while, haven't you? All right, the Lions held off the Bears. It was 21-0 at one point in the first half, Detroit. Miller tried to lead Chicago back, but fell short. And in that first half, Gus Frerotte was on fire.
He was on fire. He had to be on fire because Chicago's offense is on fire. It was tit for tat throughout the ball game, and Gus Frerotte was on with Jermaine Crowell.
And this touchdown run, 29 yards, Greg Hill, longest touchdown run of the season for the Lions, leading them to victory.
I didn't have my best game, but the thing was we never gave up, and we fought through it. We fought through adversity, and we came out with a big-time win.
So the Lions battling the Bucs right now, the Vikings and the Packers right behind. Big win after 2 straight losses, Coach.
And I think Gus Frerotte has proved that he's a starting quarterback in the National Football League. He's better than half these guys are watching, including the 2 in this game.
Well, I hope that Detroit enjoyed that game today because 3 of their next 5 games are on the road. It's very tough, and they're all against NFC Central opponents.
But the one thing they did, they had 2 losses in a row. They knew they had to get into this ball game and win. It was a must-win for Detroit, and they did it. And the quarterback situation is not resolved because when Batch gets healthy, my friend,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Hey, it's wonderful just to be with you 3 on Thanksgiving Day, to share it with the whole crew
You're
here.
so warm and fuzzy,
the research department. Let's congratulate them
the research.
a job well done.
Good
All
job.
that news coming from people like Huey Lewis back in the research. Welcome, Huey.
Hey, and that's his son, Austin, too.
Austin.
Give him a little pop.
Good information.
All right, guys, a reminder, this Sunday we'll be here at noon Eastern with the NFL Today. It's a doubleheader day on CBS. And that'll be followed by, well, here you go, New England and Buffalo. I knew you guys were going to rip me on that shot.
Yeah.
Where was it? I was waiting for it.
Us and the turkey.
Most of you will see that New England-Buffalo game. Then later, the Jets in Indianapolis. The Jets with 3 straight wins taking on the red-hot Colts. And coming up, Clint Black and Lisa Hartman Black with a holiday serenade from Cowboy Country when the NASDAQ halftime report continues here on CBS. One of the first half highlights, Deion's pick in the end zone.
CBS Sports presentation of the NASDAQ halftime report is sponsored by the NASDAQ stock market.
Look back at the Dallas Cowboys in the first half. Penalties really killed them. And then drop passes. Troy Aikman laid a few balls into the wide receivers, going across the field and down, dropped them. They got to take advantage of those things.
If you take a look at the halftime statistics, it'll show you just how even this football game has been, and really those drop passes and those penalty yards, the only difference between these 2 teams, and yet they're still scoreless.
Yeah, Greg, what you really see when you look at those halftime stats, that the defense is dominated, offense, both sides just can't make the plays.
Brock Marion and Jerry Wilson will receive the kickoff from Miami here in the second half. From the goal line, it's Brock Marion. And the ex-Dallas Cowboy fights his way forward to the 19-yard line. And let's check in with Armin Katayan downstairs. Armin.
Thanks, Greg. Talked to Chan Gailey. He said, we just got to make something happen. I asked him about the decision not to kick that field goal. He said he was worried about getting it blocked. Again, a confidence issue. Didn't want to risk it. Turn the ball over and let Miami get a lead going into halftime. Jimmy Johnson, he said, we're playing well. Everything's good on defense. We're just missing the opportunities, particularly that interception. Back to you.
All right, Armin, thank you.
Saw Brock Marion on the kickoff return, ex-Dallas Cowboy. Talked to some of his teammates during the week, and they were looking forward to get a chance to hit on him.
J.J. Johnson keeps his balance out to the 25-yard line. That's a pickup of about 6 on the play. Randall Godfrey with the tackle. And it'll be 2nd and 4.
Well, when you watch the Dallas Cowboys, what I took out of the first half, the Chan Gailey, he looked at it and he says, I am not going to let my offense lose the game. I want to see Miami move it down the field and score. So they've kind of done that. The Miami Dolphins scoring opportunities, they don't take advantage of it. I like the fact, stay with the running game and let Dan Marino play action pass to go down the field.
The tackle made at the 26-yard line on Johnson by Greg Ellis. You saw Chan Gailey over there on the sideline. You know, last year when we saw him, Phil, his first year here in Dallas, we asked him, did he ever think that there would be so much pressure attached to the Dallas Cowboys head coaching job? And he said, not in my wildest dreams. And he's finding even more pressure this year with a 5-5 start.
Yeah, last year, like everything, hey, it's a great situation. Chan's the new guy in the block, get things going. But this year, the biggest criticism of him, he's the offensive coordinator. They're always criticizing his play calling.
Quick pass from Marino, far side, complete to Tony Martin. And Martin is not going to get first down yardage. One of Dan Marino's concerns, Phil, was arm strength.
Well, I think his arm strength looks fine. I think the big thing is, right there, we saw why they stopped the first down. George Teague, number 31, the safety came flying up there, hit Tony Martin, and stopped his forward progress.
Well, the Darren Woodson in particular does not like the spot of the football. We're going to get a measurement here.
I would say it was a nice, generous spot. It looked to me, but that's not the official yard markers behind the officials. It was on the far side of the field.
That's a first down, Miami.
Boy, let's just take a look at it. Quick screen outside, Tony Martin. Got to go to the 29-yard line. Almost exactly on the 29. Makes a few people miss. George Teague makes the hit. And what do you think, Gregory? He maybe made it to the 28. That was probably a good yard short of the first down. But sometimes when they try to mark forward progress,
we're going to get a challenge here, I'll bet.
Oh.
I'll bet you we're going to get this reviewed and challenge the spot of the football.
I have not seen the mark of the football challenge this year where it changed. I think this one has a chance of being overruled and changed.
You see Chan Gailey talking with Johnny Greer about forward progress. That's what we have.
I'm sorry, you can challenge the spot of the ball. Let's take a look at it. 29-yard line is the first down. There's the 25. He comes across. He doesn't make it to the 3. You know, you've got some good landmarks on this field where you can look at and decide where to spot the football. Watch the numbers. There's the 3. Look at that. He does not make it to the edge of the 3.
Well, I'm laughing. That's not even close. That's not even close.
Well, you guys have heard of the process so many times. Once Johnny Greer gets his face into that movie screen over there, 90 seconds. It will be his decision and his decision only on what to do with this call.
And he'll take a look at the replays that you have just seen.
Let's take a look at it one more time. Everybody at home, send in your vote. What do you think? Look at the first down marker all the way across the field. I know it's not a great angle to show you. You go, well, I don't know, but I don't. Well, that's pretty good, even though it's across
at
the
an
field.
angle, he still didn't get there.
Ooh, you being strong.
Well,
let's see what happens here.
I'll bet Johnny Greer can't believe what he's seeing.
Well, the longer they stay in there, the less chance I always think they're going to overrule it. This is a good view right here. Last time, here we go. Boom. All right, there we go. I say it's a yard short of the first down.
At least.
During the play, the runner was stopped short of the line of gain. The ball will be placed at the 28-yard line. It's fourth down. No timeout is charged.
Really good coaching by both sides. Jimmy Johnson, they were going to say it was short. He said measure it. They measure it for the first down. Then Chan Gailey, somebody upstairs must have told him it's a terrible mark, coach. He challenges, he wins, does not lose a timeout.
So instead of a first down, it's fourth down. And Tom Hutton will kick, and if he's following orders, he won't kick it to Deion Sanders. Short. Along the sideline and out of bounds. The fans boo, but hey, orders are orders. Deion's not going to touch the ball.
All right, captains, we're going to have a coin toss now. If there's a team, we'll call it in.
That's the objective, to keep him bored.
Emmitt Smith for a couple. Keep in mind, Emmitt is playing with a plate and 6 screws in a broken right hand.
Look at that. You can see the padding on it. And Emmitt Smith is a right-handed person, but he carries the ball almost always in his left hand. So that really helps him in the cause of that. Well, we saw it, Greg. I mean, his right hand, it's huge with a plate and 6 screws in it.
You say Emmitt got off to a terrific start his first 5 carries. He's had trouble gaining yards since.
Miami's defense, we said they do adjust to the running game as it goes on.
Penalty marker down on the play as Emmitt is buried at the 40. Defense jumped off sides on the play.
You know what happens to these defensive linemen so much. We talk about it all the time. We'll be sitting around working and we're watching TV and you go, they're lined up all sides. They crowd the ball so much. If you even flinch, they have to throw the flag against you.
Offside, defense, the middle of the defensive line. Still second down.
I happen to pick that up watching film, Phil.
Greg, I was proud of you this week. We were watching film and we were of the Dallas Cowboys and we were getting a big kick out of it. Larry Allen, one of the offensive linemen, their best offensive lineman. He's not in there. We were watching him and he was just terrific. And you made some. He was so good that I said, you stayed away. That's how good he was.
From the 45-yard line, Emmitt Smith. Hole on the right side across midfield to the 46-yard line.
That's what happens. Jimmy Johnson says when you cut back, that's the problem with our defense. Watch Emmitt Smith. It looks like it's going to go right up the middle, and he just kind of takes it out to the right side, sees the lane, then hits it. And it's kind of remarkable after all these years. Emmitt Smith taking so many hits. Jimmy Johnson, when he was a head coach, he wore him out. He'd hand the ball to him as much as he could, but he's really stood the test of time by taking the punishment and still running well.
And you saw that graphic, as has always been. Emmitt Smith getting most of his yardage up the middle. This one off right tackle and now to the 40-yard line. Zach Thomas, Derek Rogers in on the tackle.
See what happens. There's Rocket Ismail on the sideline coming back. Looks like he's going to get ready to come back in the game. But when I watch those cutbacks by Emmitt Smith, the way you stop them, if the Miami Dolphins, they let one of their safeties come running up from the weak side to make the tackle. That's what he's supposed to do. Now Dallas, in the first half, when they threw that long pass down the field, that's because they're trying to stop the run. They sneak a receiver behind it. So if you start running the ball well, look for Troy Aikman to throw it down the field.
Cowboys doing a better job of running the football, and they go back to it again. Emmitt hit just as he approached the line of scrimmage by Jason Taylor.
Wow, Jason Taylor really played his best game of the year last week. You can look at him. He's about 6'6", I guess. 245 pounds and comes to the inside, uses his speed, and makes the play. And well, we're going to show you a little something about Jason Taylor if we get a chance later in the game.
Well, he's far from your prototype tight end.
Well, listen, you look at him, it's all about speed, just being an athlete. That's why he's on the outside for this defense.
3rd and 3 for the Cowboys. Aikman throws and not getting anywhere near first down is Rocket Ismail.
Well, that was just bad execution. That's a play that the Denver Broncos, the San Francisco 49ers, that's the Jerry Rice play. You come across the formation. Here he comes. Oh, going to fake. Look at the receiver defender trying to go out. Trace Armstrong slows him down. Dolphins just waiting on it. Sean Wooden on the tackle.
So going on 4th down to kick to Terrell Buckley. Goen will try to stick this one inside the 10 or better. High floater. Bounces at the 7. And the Cowboys are going to down it at the 5. Good job by Goen. Good special teams play. And Marino and company start deep in their own territory. On the country, but the divisional races are heating up. Get a complete review of every team as they battle for playoff positions. Click on NFL at CBS.sportsline.com. Miami fans cheering on their defense as Marino and company start from their own 5. J.J. Johnson outside the 10, the 15, out of bounds, no, up the sideline and across the 20, and falls hard on the far side. 13 yards and a first down.
Boy, good illustration what J.J. Johnson brings to the game. Comes up inside, nothing going on, and just slides to the outside with grace, makes it look easy, and has a chance to really pick up some big yards, but the hit by Darren Woodson brings him down.
J.J. Johnson, 116 yards Sunday against New England. Coming up on 60 here today. Marino on first down. Into the flat. Complete. Pritchett, penalty marker.
Well, before that first play was run by J.J. Johnson, Greg, we were sitting here talking during the commercial, and I said it's going to come down to what team's defense is going to win the game for them, because both offenses just struggling and trying to do anything. Run, throw, protect the quarterback.
Personal foul, face mask, number 25, defense. First down.
That's Charlie Williams, who commits his 3rd penalty of the day.
Well, that's big. You got the Miami Dolphins backed up. The crowd's into it. First play, you give up a nice run. Let's watch him. Gets faked and gets that left hand up in the face mask, and whew, that was quick.
So it's now first down for Miami, their own 38-yard line. J.J. Johnson dances his way across the 40 to the 41.
Charlie Williams in there for Kevin Smith, who is hurt and out this week, and that last 15 yards. The hand went to the face mask, but it did not look like it stayed there very long. He got it off immediately, and well, that's how they looked at it.
You know, we talked a little bit about Deion Sanders before being bored. He's just on his own little island out here on this side of the field.
He might as well just go sit on the sideline with the wide receiver, because Dan Marino, except for one throw, has not looked over there all day long.
The one throw he did make was intercepted by Deion. On the blitz, batted back into Marino's face. Pepe Zellner, number 93, 4th-round draft choice out of Fort Valley State in Georgia.
Watch the pressure coming up the middle. Blitz, they can't pick it up. Pepe Zellner, number 93, gets the hit. Darren Hambrick, he's also number 54. He's going in there free and untouched.
And so Miami, which has not had a really great time on 3rd down today, just 2 out of 8. Marino looks at a 3rd and 7. Throws over the middle, intercepted. Dexter Coakley, the 20, the 10, 5, touchdown. Defense gets the Dallas Cowboys on the board first.
What happens? Dan Marino looks at his first receiver, thinks he's under pressure, turns, looks for the second receiver, and he doesn't see it clearly. Dexter Coakley, there he is. When you throw into a receiver over the middle, the number 1 rule for a quarterback, look in front of him. Make sure no defender is coming from the other way. Dexter Coakley played it perfect. Watch the quarterback, make the break.
46 yards on the return for Coakley. His 2nd interception of the season. Richie Cunningham with the extra point. Dexter Coakley hosts the party in the end zone. And on the sideline, the injured Michael Irvin, still very much a Cowboy, celebrates with his teammates. This afternoon's work for Dexter Coakley, and the day isn't over yet. The kick, Brock Marion, 2 yards deep in the end zone. Comes to a stop and gets nailed inside the 15-yard line by George Teague. So the Cowboys continue to celebrate Dexter Coakley with the pick. Takes it to the house. And let the party begin. The NFL, from all of your friends at Anheuser-Busch, happy Thanksgiving. First down for Dan Marino and the Dolphins. They start with J.J. Johnson. And let's go back to the Dexter Coakley interception.
Let's go back. You hear the term zone blitz all the time. Here comes the blitz. Dexter Coakley's going to drop back in the middle. Dan Marino thinks it's a blitz. He can't pick up all the defenders. He looks for his receiver. Dexter Coakley, watching the quarterback the whole way, makes the easy interception. And you're the quarterback, Dan Marino. Oh, man, you're not going to chase that down. The one thing he didn't want to do today is come in here, make big mistakes that would cost his team. He's made 2 big ones so far.
Marino, 6 touchdown passes, 7 interceptions, and that one batted down at the line by Greg Ellis, number 98.
I'll tell you what, that is not the quarterback's fault. When you see the ball getting batted down, that means there's too much penetration. You're letting defensive linemen get too close, and that time, well, Greg Ellis doesn't get back there. He's just in the throwing lane, so not great penetration that time by Greg Ellis.
74, Brent Smith working on Ellis that time.
Sounded like a good point, Greg.
It was a great point, Phil.
Okay, I was wrong.
See, I just assume that you make good points every time you say something. From the shotgun, Marino throws behind his intended receiver, Stanley Pritchett.
Just not good by Dan Marino. What is happening? He's anticipating the pressure, not setting his feet. That time there's nobody there. Just had his feet moving. That makes the throw offline. I wouldn't be shocked to see Jimmy Johnson put in Damon Heward.
The kick, Deion Sanders lets it bounce, and it bounces out of bounds inside the 45-yard line. Dallas with a 7-0 lead, and the Cowboys get the football back.
When it's really cold outside and you get that craving for something really hot, remember Wendy's spicy
yards and a couple of picks in his return to action, his first action since the 17th of October.
When I said he could be taken out, look, he's been a while since he's been in there. It's tough to get readjusted, even when you've played 17 years.
Play action. Aikman throws it away. They want a penalty marker.
And they should get one. Johnny Greer, he's looking and looking, trying to figure it out. Now he's going to find out. He's going to throw that flag.
And there it is.
It's a good call. See, that's not an easy call for Johnny Greer. He's protecting the quarterback first, then looking across the field. He needed help from his
intentional grounding. Number 8, offense. It's also a loss of down. Second down.
Second time today.
And he needed help from his fellow officials. Watch Troy Aikman. It's intentional grounding, tackle to tackle. Show me where there's anybody. Nobody. And Jason Taylor, number 99, he knows the rules. There's no receiver out there. So good call again, Johnny Greer.
Darrell Gardner applying the pressure on Aikman. Now 2nd and 21. Loss of down on the play. Inside, Ernie Mills, the man in motion. And that one went nowhere.
That was Ernie Mills running the option. And if he was a good option quarterback, he should have pitched it. Trace Armstrong, here he goes. Watch Ernie Mills. And the guy's going to option Trace Armstrong. Here he comes across. Hey, he's got you. Pitch it. Look at this out here. Had a chance to be a big play. Of course, when you run the option twice a year, it's kind of hard to get a feel for that defensive end.
4 wide receivers on 3rd and 22. And here come the Dolphins after Aikman. Gets rid of it in a hurry. Pass is complete to Rocket Ismail. Out to about the 35-yard line. Brock Marion there for the tackle, and the boos come up.
Well, look, there's nothing the Cowboys can do there. You can boo the play of the Miami defense if you want, if you're a Cowboy fan. That's why they can blitz. This secondary, the Miami Dolphins, they are good, sure tacklers. They do not let receivers catch it and then break a tackle and run down the field.
Goin kicks to Jaquette and Buckley. Wobbler off the side of the foot. Gets a nice roll, and this is going to roll inside the 30. And is downed at the 30-yard line. 35-yard punt, and they don't get a return on it. And as Marino prepares to re-enter the game tonight on CBS, Reba McEntire stars in a world premiere movie as a woman determined to bring the spirit of Christmas to the Wild West. A holiday movie for the whole family, The Secret of Giving. That's tonight on CBS.
Let's take a look at that last punt. Goes down the field. Brock Marion's deep, and this is what you call, oh, well, Brock Marion comes underneath. I'm sorry.
Blocked into the kicker.
Yes,
blocked
he was.
into the kicker's path.
Good no call. I think Dallas is back where they want to be on defense. Try to score some more points.
Marino with the first down at the 30-yard line. Safe to say, Jimmy Johnson's scrutiny will be intense. Quick slant, complete, and close to a first down is Oronde Gadsden.
Well, you look at this, Greg, and it's been hard for both offenses. As the game goes along, it gets harder for either one of them just to make any play to get down the field. Here's Marino, sees the coverage. Boy, not that it's tough enough, but the Dallas defensive linemen are doing a terrific job of standing and getting their hands up and staying in the passing lanes against Dan Marino.
It is enough for the first down. And you know, Dave Campbell telling us yesterday that they rotate those linemen and keep them as fresh as they possibly can.
Yeah, he does. And if you remember, you're a fan, this Dallas Cowboy team back in the early 90s, their defense was the best in football. I unfortunately had to play against a couple times, and he says, but now this team he's got out there in the field now is faster than any defense he's been associated with.
Dolphins first down from the 40. Blitz. Down the sideline. Marino throws. It is complete. Tony Martin with a terrific catch. And now the Dolphins have something going.
Well, you're just making it easy for Dan Marino when you're going to press the outside receiver and bring everybody like that. Now there's no chance he'll make a big mistake. He sees the blitz, gets rid of it quick, and it just comes down to who's going to make the play. Now, who do you like? Tony Martin against DeJuan Hawthorne, number 38. Tony Martin had his towel up in there making the catch. Might be an illegal aid in the acceptance of the ball.
Only if the towel is sticky.
Oh, okay. That's a big play for the Miami Dolphins. Let's watch this. Tony Martin, as he brings his hands up, where's the towel come from? It's in his hand. Oh, I don't know.
Tony Martin refuses to catch a dirty ball. He's got to clean it off.
I think he was going to do a surrender or something somewhere. I don't know.
2nd and 7. Little arm fake. Marino throws incomplete. And that's Troy Drayton, the intended receiver.
Good play. Got to throw it up. Give him a chance to run to it. Troy Drayton had a half a step. Dan Marino, he's noted for kind of started the trend in the NFL. He started this back in the 80s, where you throw the ball on a line drive and you try to get it to the receiver before the defender can turn around. But that time, that ball should have been thrown in the air.
You see everything going to the other end of the field. We asked Dan about throwing at Dion. He said, well, he did it with Mark Duper when Duper was going pretty good. But he's done it once today. Marino with time, pulls it back down, now throws, and it's incomplete. Rob Conrad at the 25-yard line had it knocked down. And on to the field comes Olindo Mare.
Good job of standing in there. Dan Marino trying to find that second receiver down the field. Steps up, gives himself that extra time, then gets away from the rush.
Takes a hand to the head. And Mare from 47 yards out.
No.
Second time today he's pushed it to the right. And Mr. Reliable is suddenly not as reliable here in Texas Stadium on Thanksgiving Day.
3 missed field goals today. Well, 2 misses and 1 block, but scoring opportunities, an interception down inside. So the Dolphins 4 times today have tried to put some points on the board. As it even goes up, you can see it starts to fade to the right. 4 scoring opportunities, no points.
4 scoring opportunities. I thought you were starting the Gettysburg Address or something there.
Yeah, how does that go?
4 scoring opportunities is what Abe Lincoln started. 7-0 Dallas with the lead in the football. Aikman gives it to Emmitt Smith, running room up the middle. Pulls his way across the 45 to the 47-yard line. Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman in the game, Michael Irvin not. Let's go down Army Kentucky.
Obviously, Greg, Michael Irvin, one of the real impact players for the Cowboys, not in this game, recovering from that spinal cord injury. Jerry Jones told me before the game he used the R word, talking about his concern about Michael possibly retiring. I spoke to Michael just briefly. He said he is feeling better, but I asked him about any timetable for his return. He said, man, I don't really want to talk about that right now. Back to you.
All right, Armin. Indeed, the Cowboys have told Michael Irvin, you take all the time you need. Second and short yardage. Emmitt Smith stood up at the line of scrimmage, but not before he got the first down. Zach Thomas, Robert Jones in on the tackle.
Well, Zach Thomas, the key, if you want to run the football against Miami, somehow you got to get a lineman up there to block on Zach Thomas. Mark Stepnoski can't hold on to him. The one thing Zach Thomas has going for him, well, not one, he's got a lot of things going. Great instincts. He gets those instincts from studying a lot of film, but his speed running around the field.
Michael Irvin looks on. Zach Thomas was a Chicago Bears fan growing up. First down for the Cowboys. Aikman throws complete. David LaFleur, first down. Run out of bounds by Zach Thomas.
Well, that time the Miami Dolphins on a little blitz. Nobody covering David LaFleur. Zach Thomas senses it, sees it. Just shows what he does. He shows you the speed he has from side to side. Take a look at Zach Thomas. Chases down Emmitt Smith in the first quarter. Takes on the lineman, makes the tackle. Oh, man, yeah. Gets double teamed. See, if you make too many tackles, they'll take care of you.
Aikman, quick drop. This side to the rookie, Mike Lucky. Out of bounds at the 30-yard line. You know, you look at Zach Thomas, and officially he's at 5'11", 235, and he looks diminutive out there on the field at best. And then you look and you see he's being double-teamed by these huge offensive linemen. Tells you the respect they have.
Well, they do. It's tough to block him because they have these 2 big guys inside, Tim Bowens and Daryl Gardner. And Zach Thomas runs free so much that you got to find a way to get a guy to block him so you can get some successful running plays.
Final 10 seconds of the third quarter, winding down. We have 15 seconds to determine the winner of today's Ironman Award.
Out there to some of his teammates.
Just underway here in the fourth quarter. And with the lead, expect Emmitt Smith to do an awful lot of heavy groundwork.
Well, it tells you, look at this graphic. They have trouble with the wide receivers getting open and making plays. He has done a good job getting the ball to his running backs today. And, you know, talking to Troy Aikman yesterday, he did voice his displeasure about a few things. I think he would like to throw the ball more. But I think his big displeasure is the fact that, again, the wide receivers just don't complement the passing game enough for the Dallas Cowboys.
Emmitt Smith trying to break it outside and can't get away from Rich Owens.
You know, Troy would like to throw the ball more. They continue to draft people for the defense. And anytime you talk about play calling, that is a big topic down here. Chan Gailey taking that criticism. And, well, look, I said, when you call plays, is it harder, or does it affect you as a head coach? He goes, well, I always call plays, and I always think what the head coach wants. And it does affect my play calling.
As we watch them practice, Phil, and as we watch game film, it's pretty evident that Troy Aikman needs that go-to guy that he's lacking with Michael Irvin standing on the sideline. Movement on the offensive line, that won't work.
Well, Michael Irvin was his timing receiver, so he misses him greatly not being in there. In tough moments, Troy Aikman could drop back and on rhythm throw it. Michael.
Ball start, number 77, offense. Still second down.
That's the rookie Solomon Page.
And Michael Irvin would use his size and his body just to get in position to catch the football. Now, Rocket Ismail, he comes in. Troy Aikman says that's the most polished speed receiver we've ever had down here. But the problem now is he's our speed receiver, my possession receiver, my underneath receiver. He's the receiver that runs reverses. He goes, man, we're wearing him out. And he's having a hard time staying in there because of all the use.
2nd and 17. Aikman throws complete to Robert Thomas. And Terrell Buckley having a tough time getting him down on the ground. Michael Irvin going to mediate.
Well, Robert Thomas, he's a good story in himself. He went to training camp this year as a linebacker. And now he's playing fullback. Let's watch what happens on the sideline. Well, it's okay. Let it go. Still on the field. Nothing there. It didn't look like he was going to make the team as a linebacker. They switch him to fullback. He makes the team at that position. So that tells you he's a pretty good athlete.
Aikman throws, has his man complete inside the 20. Ernie Mills, but short of a first down. And now Richie Cunningham is going to get the shot he was aching for in the first half.
Well, no hesitation by Chan Gailey. You don't even think about going forward on 4th down, no matter how close it was. 10 points in this game, your defense, well, that's huge.
This will be a 36-yard field goal attempt by Cunningham. Yep. Cunningham builds the Dallas lead to 10. Still plenty of time remaining. Chan Gailey says, you betcha. These days, these times, I'll take it. He had a 93-yard kickoff return against Buffalo earlier this season. Marion from the 1. Hit at the 20 and knocked back to the 18. Chris Akins with the stop. Tomorrow, the Home Depot College football rocks the holiday with bowl-bound excitement. Many of you will see Michael Vick, an unbeaten second-ranked Virginia Tech, continue its quest for a national title shot against the 8-2 Boston College Eagles. In some areas, it'll be the Arkansas Razorbacks against the LSU Tigers in Death Valley. Check local listings. Then Saturday, doubleheader action. An SEC matchup as Vanderbilt battles T. Martin in Tennessee, followed by Quinton Spotwood in Syracuse, taking on Santana Moss and the Miami Hurricanes. Home Depot College football on CBS Sports.
That kickoff return, Greg. Brock Marion just got hit by one of his best friend on the Dallas Cowboys, Darren Woodson. So that must have felt good to Darren Woodson.
From the shotgun, Marino. Incomplete. Rob Conrad out of the backfield.
Dan Marino definitely not in rhythm of late. That time just taking something off of it. Not enough on it to get it out to Robert Conrad.
As you look at Marino's numbers, you know, everyone, including Dan, wondered how he would come out. He said he wasn't going to throw as many balls in warm-up because his arm wasn't as strong as it usually is.
I don't think it's a problem with his arm strength today. I just think the Dallas defense has been very good. And he's not getting his feet under him a lot to throw the ball.
Pass is incomplete and almost intercepted by Dewan Hawthorne.
Boy, good anticipation. Dewan Hawthorne, number 38. He sees the route. Look at him looking back in the backfield. He sees Marino. Quick drop. That means it's a quick throw and in perfect position to make the interception, and he just lets it get away from him.
You know, Phil, if you've got Deion Sanders on the other side of the field, you have to think it's going to be Christmas time to your side of the field sometime soon.
Well, if you make the play, it is.
2 of 11 on third down. Movement on the offensive line. It'll be third and even longer as Brent Smith pulled out of there.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 74, offense. Still third down.
So many times today, as I've looked at the game, Deion Sanders has been one-on-one with Tony Martin or Rondé Gaston on the other side, and they're daring you to throw it over there. And I think you've got to take those chances every once in a while. Deion is not going to intercept every ball thrown his way, especially if you run down the field and make him fight for the ball with the receiver.
Marino needs the 32 for a first down. Stands in there, throws over the middle, has his man. Penalty marker is down as Yatil Green makes the catch, but let's check the flag.
Yatil Green, it's good to see him catch one after all he has been through since he's been in the NFL.
Holding, 28, defense is declined. First down.
That's Darren Woodson, and this is Yatil Green's third reception of the year.
It is. Watch Dan Marino. See the hop when he keeps his feet moving and he gets a little hop. He gets in good position. He still has plenty of arm to throw it down the field. When his feet stay stationary, he is not a very good thrower at all.
On first down. Throws down the middle. It is caught shy of the 40-yard line, and that's Yatil Green again. This is a young man, knee injuries and surgery, each of his first 2 seasons, trying to work himself back. Jimmy Johnson said, you know, one little injury led to another.
No huddle by the Miami Dolphins.
He's going to lob it deep down the sideline. No one there except Hawthorne.
Yes, is sponsored by Honda, a winning lineup of cars, sport utility vehicles, and minivans. Cold, refreshing Zima. Zima, a few degrees cooler. And by Sony Vaio, computers and digital handycam camcorders.
Beautiful shot. Nightfall here at Texas Stadium. Welcome back. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Greg Gumbel, Phil Simms, Armin Katayan, and the rest of us here at CBS Sports. Wish you and yours the very best. Aikman from deep in his end zone. Breaking it outside. Penalty marker flies is Emmitt Smith.
Well, as I see this right here, this Miami Dolphin defense, they got to be going, we got to get this thing. We're going to have to give our offense a chance to score from really close in. So they need to come out here and stop them in 3 plays.
Here's Johnny Greer.
Holding, 76, offense is declined. Second down.
That's Flozell Adams. Let's go back to the interception.
Look what happens. Look at Dewan Hawthorne. It's an out and up by Tony Martin, but he doesn't even see the out and up. He doesn't care because he's watching the quarterback, Dan Marino, the whole way. So he's not even going to think about breaking up. And Dan Marino, he goes, oh, man. He knows that was a bad decision and a bad throw on his part.
Dewan Hawthorne's third interception, and Aikman goes deep, has his man, and complete. Rocket Ismail inside the 45, first down, Dallas.
Well, the one thing that Jimmy Johnson worries about, deep balls thrown against Terrell Buckley, Rocket Ismail, number 81. Oh, man. He does it right at the line of scrimmage. The quick fake inside gets him right by him, and sometimes the best long ball throw is the one that's underthrown, especially when the defender is running so hard trying to catch up.
Troy Aikman telling us yesterday about the pure speed of Rocket Ismail. He said how hard it is when he throws it, when he goes across the middle. It's hard to gauge it. He doesn't throttle back. Emmitt Smith, lots of running room up the middle. Runs over a tackler close to the 30-yard line.
But when Troy Aikman said, I'll go back to that long play. Well, let's take a look at Emmitt Smith's run first. And the Dallas offensive line, it's just big. Stepnoski does a good job of coming up and making a block. Brock Marion's on the tackle. But you talk about Rocket Ismail, Greg, going back to that play, the speed is there. But Troy Aikman says he's a polished speed receiver. The move at the line of scrimmage, most of the time, that's where a wide receiver makes it happen, right off the snap.
Emmitt Smith across the 30 to about the 28-yard line, and suddenly the Cowboys no longer have their backs against the wall deep in their own territory. Emmitt Smith up to 102 yards. He comes off of 127 against Arizona.
He's losing it. It's really incredible, and I asked him that. We talked about it at length on Friday. Here I go again. On Tuesday. Look at Emmitt, what he's done. Projected at 1,400. But I just asked him about how long he's done this, taking the punishment. He says, really now it's come down. He goes, I know how to take care of my body and keep being a productive player because he just takes care of himself.
Troy Aikman saw something he didn't like, calls a timeout, and that stops the clock with just a second under. 8 minutes to play here in regulation in Dallas with a 10-point lead as you look at Emmitt on the sideline. 3 Super Bowls, 93 MVP, a Super Bowl 28 MVP. And we'll remind you the playoff races are shaping up. And the NFL on CBS is there. Doubleheader action this Sunday in the early game. Many of you will see Drew Bledsoe drive the Patriots against Doug Flutie and the Bills. In some areas, it'll be Junior Seau and the Chargers battling Randy Moss and the Vikings. In the late game, Phil and I will be there as the resurgent Jets take on Peyton Manning and the Colts, or the Chiefs visit the Raiders. Check local listings beginning with Jim, Craig, Randy, and Jerry on the NFL Today.
Well, they have a lot of fun. Look at it. It's a good time.
2nd and 8 for the Cowboys at the 30-yard line. Aikman looks right, comes back, gets hit in the backfield. First sack of the day of Aikman, and Rich Owens gets it.
Boy, this Rich Owens, what a pickup by the Miami Dolphins. He has it all. He can do everything from the outside. Number 96. Going against Eric Williams. Gets to the outside, keep hustling, and Troy Aikman really forcing he doesn't fumble on that play.
Rich Owens, 5th-year man out of Lehigh. Missed the entire 98 season with a torn left ACL and has come back with a vengeance this year. Aikman lost the football. Loose ball. Miami says they have it, and they do. And guess who's on the ball? Rich Owens. New life for Jimmy Johnson's Chargers.
His eyes, the ball comes back. He takes him off. He looks down the field just before it gets to him. That's what causes the fumble.
Marino and the Dolphins trying to make some hay. Throws into the flat, in and out of the hands of Rob Conrad. No excuse.
Well, Miami did a good thing. I like what they're going to do. You got to speed the process up, so they just go in the shotgun on 1st down. You need 2 possessions, still plenty of time. 7 minutes and 22 seconds. 3 timeouts they still have left. But keeping 2 people in the backfield with Dan Marino. Giving that extra second to throw the ball down the field.
Gone. Marino going to throw. It is intercepted by Deion Sanders.
Well, let me eat my words. Deion Sanders singled up on the sideline. Dan Marino, we told you, he loves to throw the ball hard before the defender can turn around. Well, Deion Sanders has seen that. Well, he's seen it a few times in his life. And the ball's in the air, and he turns and looks for the ball and makes the play. And Dan Marino, he just, really not a bad throw on his part. Oh, he says, kiss me, coach. Yes.
If you are wondering, Damon Heward is dressed and available to play. Split the snaps this week with Dan Marino after suffering the broken nose in Miami on Sunday. Zach Thomas makes the stop on Emmitt Smith, and later tonight here on CBS. Later tonight, stay right where you are, because Entertainer of the Year, Shania Twain, rocks Texas Stadium. And then Reba McEntire stars in a world premiere movie as a woman determined to bring the spirit of Christmas to the Wild West. The Secret of Giving. A great night of holiday entertainment tonight right here on CBS.
Deion Sanders saying hi. I think he's talking to his mom. I'm not sure.
Aikman fakes to Smith. Deep down the middle. Has his man complete. Rocket Ismail to the 5. Touchdown.
Cowboys go for the kill. Play action, fake, and pass. And they got it, too.
Earlier, 65 yards.
I'm sorry, Greg. Early in the game, they hit that pass. It was called back. This time they hit it, and Rocket Ismail breaks the tackle and scores the touchdown. And again, it's against Terrell Buckley. When everybody goes deep down the field against Miami, it's always, well, not always, 90% of the time against Terrell Buckley.
Ismail's 5th touchdown of the season. Cunningham's kick is good. 6:24 to play. The Miami Dolphins are running out of time. Aikman launches, connects, celebrates. Happy Thanksgiving, Troy.
You might want to reconsider getting in the cell with this guy.
Why's that?
He's enormous.
Imbecile or not, he deserves to fry for what he done.
He was found with the victims in his arms.
I don't think he did it at all.
Take my hand, both.
I do not see God putting a gift like that in the hands of a man who killed a child.
From the director of The Shawshank Redemption.
You're talking about a miracle.
Tom Hanks.
I am.
The Green Mile, rated R. Starts Friday, December 10th.
RCA Victor.
Do not try to adjust the picture.
Color TV.
There is nothing wrong with your TV. A new form of television is here. High definition. Up to 6 times sharper than current analog technology. The people who brought you TV, the color TV, and digital satellite TV welcome you to HD TV. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your television. We've just made a better one.
The amazing Wizard rotary tool
does detail work, sharpen tools.
The Wizard has 25% more torque.
Soon your TV will have over 500 channels, almost enough to show you everything the Wizard can do. The Wizard, built by Black & Decker.
To win over this crowd,
Electric stick!
you gotta perform. The new Norelco Quadra Action Razor with slots to cut long hairs and holes that get the short stubble for a quick close shave guaranteed. The new Quadra Action Razor. Norelco. Put it to the test.
Yasmin Bleeth is hot for Cheech. In his dreams,
You're actually dreaming about me. Are you high?
all new Nash Bridges CBS Friday.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by NASDAQ, the stock market for a digital world, and by DirecTV. What are you looking at?
Texas Stadium lit up inside and out. 17-0 Cowboys, and Brock Marion trying to get something started again for the Dolphins. A yard deep in the end zone. The 20. Doesn't reach the 25. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Watch what happens. You think a running game doesn't help? Sean Wooden, number 22, is going to come up. He thinks it's a run. They got double coverage on Rocket Ismail down the field. Terrell Buckley goes, where's the safety? Nobody helping out. Look at this. And it's just the speed. Terrell Buckley cannot stay up with Rocket Ismail on that. And then you do something good, and Emmitt Smith, one of the triplets, comes over and says,
"We're happy for you.
I like you."
I like it a lot. Miami guilty of a personal foul on the return. There's Troy Aikman, happy to be back into the swing of things.
Well, listen, they knew. Shane Gailey said, we'll run it, and we're going to get 3 or 4 chances down the field to make a play today. I've seen 2. They made them both.
Dan Marino, 4 picks today. That's his most since 1988. He threw 5 against the Jets.
And this is a tough situation here. Crowd, defensive linemen, they don't even care about a run anymore.
Pass is incomplete. Pritchett out of the backfield had to do a 360 to get his hands on it.
Well, Troy Aikman, he said it to us that for a speed receiver, this guy is really polished. And he has shown it today. Got hurt on the first pass attempt by Troy Aikman. Set out the whole first half, came back.
Rocket Ismail, 2 years in the CFL, 3 with the Raiders, 3 with Carolina. Marino throws, complete, Yatil Green to the 25 and pulled down.
You know, he's trying to win the Ironman today. That's what he's doing. He got hurt, he comes back in, and that's impressive. You know, playing with a little pain, especially wide receiver. A lot of people don't think they're that tough.
Phil, you know nothing impresses me more than playing with pain.
And so really just a good job of gathering your thoughts and takes his time, gets back in the game, and is just a big factor.
3rd and 6. Marino with time, throws, intercepted. Dexter Coakley, his 2nd of the day. And Dexter Coakley casts his vote for the Iron Man Award.
Well, Dexter Coakley, the son of a bricklayer, had to carry the bricks for his father. And if you look at those arms, you can see that he did a lot of work. But just Dexter Coakley, what he is, he's just a football player, just knows how to do everything, takes his position. Dan Marino just hoping for a miracle, nothing down the field. Never should have thrown this ball. And watch Dexter Coakley, sees the receiver. Stanley Pritchett goes by him, sees the ball. Whoa, and he takes a big hit from Arondé Gadsden.
You look at Dexter Coakley, it has not been the return to battle that Dan Marino had hoped for. Aikman from inside the 20. Emmitt Smith breaks it outside. Zach Thomas in pursuit, can't catch him. Inside the 15 and out of bounds. Let's check in with Armin Katayan. Armin.
Thanks, Greg. You know, you mentioned Dexter Coakley, the son of a bricklayer, William, down in Charleston, South Carolina. He used to go out with him every single day, as you said, and his father said, son, you know how hard this is? This is not what you want to do the rest of your life. He kept telling him, go to school, get an education. Dexter went to Appalachian State, graduated with a 3.0 in advertising. He says today, I listen to what my father says, and on Thanksgiving Day, he said, he's my hero. Back to you.
Thanks, Armin. Will you just look at those arms?
Well, I said to Barry Switzer 2 years ago, talking about him, I said, well, he's a little short to be a really effective linebacker. And Barry Switzer on every, he looked at me out of the corner of his eyes, and he goes, we didn't get him to change the light bulbs around here, Phil. I said, okay, I got the point. He can hit, he can run, and it's really kind of the new breed of the linebackers in the NFL. They're not looking, most teams don't even look for those big linebackers anymore. They're looking for people like him. They can really run, who have the stature to hang in there and make the hits when they have to.
Coakley came in here, the leading tackler for the Cowboys on the season with 85. Puts in a couple of picks and a touchdown today. Aikman fakes the toss, throws back this way. Complete. 10, 5, and to the 2 is Eric Bjornsson.
He's down. Eric Bjornsson down. And Greg, you know what that play is, don't you? I've told you this one many times.
Yak?
No, this is that old shoot screen.
Oh, shoot.
Look, they're going to fake it one way. Eric Bjornsson stays inside. All of a sudden, he slips out, and everybody goes, oh, no. Oh, shoot. We're on the other side of the field, but the speed of the Miami Dolphins defense is the only thing that stops this from being a touchdown. The yak, huh?
Just trying to throw it out.
Well, it's a good guess.
Bjornsson is still down at the 2-yard line. Well, I will say this. The Dallas Cowboys have some huge tight ends. David LaFleur, 6'7", 272. Bjornsson, 6'4", 236. Lucky, 6'6", 273.
Well, we keep talking about the Ironman. Who's going to win the award? Let's just, Greg, I'm going to show you something. Let's take a look at how they make the trophy.
Where does that trophy come from,
Well, here
Phil?
you go. Looks hot.
Oh. This is exceptional craftsmanship.
And you know you got to make it pretty. It's hard to make an iron pretty, though.
Does your iron look like that in your room?
No, it doesn't. Oh, well, there's a sight that'll scare you.
Did you iron your jersey before games?
No, I did not. We had people to do that, and well, it was going to be a very tough vote today, and we're going to cast it all. Everybody in the crew gets a vote in this. It's just not Greg and I. And one thing I knew. Midway through the third quarter, I said, there's no way an offensive player is going to win this thing today. Troy Aikman made a late bid for it. Rocket Ismail, they did some wonderful things. Physical game, they hung in it, they made plays. But this game was won today. As Chan Gailey said, I'm going to make the Dolphins offense beat us. It didn't do it. His defense has been the difference.
Eric Bjornsson walking off the field. Damon Heward beginning to throw on the sideline. And it appears we may have seen the last of Dan Marino today.
Yeah, it's a tough. This was. I expected it to go better for Dan Marino today. Tough situation to be in. To come down here, Thanksgiving Day, short week. You've been out for 5-6 weeks. A lot to overcome. And I thought when he threw that one interception to Jimmy Johnson might change quarterbacks, but he decided he was going to let Dan play it out.
Coming up on 3:45 to play. Emmitt Smith to the 2.
I think the other thing we came impressed with this week as we looked at everything and talked to Chan Gailey, talked to the coaches, Dave Campo and Hudson Houck, the offensive line coach, is that the one thing this Cowboy team has, they have a lot of good, solid, big players. Their offensive line and their defensive line, it is good, it's big, and they got depth too. So they got reserves. They can come in and play well.
2nd and goal. Emmitt. Nothing there. Emmitt Smith, 135 rushing touchdowns, 145 career TDs. And he's going up against Zach Thomas.
Well, let's look at a guy, Zach Thomas. He is as tough as they come, and he's about as good as they come. Again, finds his way across the block and somehow seems to always get in on the tackle. And for a little guy, he has speed. He has, I think, surprising power, but he just has the instincts and that natural ability just to make plays.
On 3rd and goal, Emmitt Smith get even further back into the backfield. Gee, there's number 54 in on the play.
That's shock. Let's look at him again. You just get, you know, we talk about him a lot, but it's not something we're trying to make up. It just, oh boy, just head on. Robert Jones with him at his feet, and Zach Thomas is a tackling machine.
Hey, we're not making up the fact that he has his arms wrapped around the ball carrier almost every play. 2 minutes to play here in Dallas, Thanksgiving Day, and the Cowboys well on their way to victory.
$69.99.
What are you looking at, cable? Shh, it's just getting good.
3 minutes a week.
Ah, DirecTV. Hey, everybody. This is Jim. Look, DirecTV's got all your favorite cable channels. Plus, now you get 2 free months of 32 premium movie channels, including 7 HBO, 4 Stars, and 5 Showtime channels with no long-term commitment. DirecTV. What are you looking at?
Good morning, Mr. Schwab.
Introducing Velocity from Schwab, the new incredibly powerful online trading software system. With the power to place multiple orders at one time, it's fast and smart. And, if you'll pardon the expression, cool.
In the name of progress,
Man has given up more and more control to the machines of his own creation. Perhaps it is time to take some of it back. The thoroughly exhilarating TL with 5-speed sequential sport shift from Acura.
Monday, it's Ray's shocking preschool secret.
You left me back?
Love.
That and you were slow.
Everybody loves Raymond. An all-new episode, CBS Monday.
Back at Texas Stadium next Thursday on CBS, find out who will be Athlete of the Century when entertainers Garth Brooks, Whitney Houston, and Paul Simon join all-time greats Michael Jordan, Muhammad Ali, Wayne Gretzky, and Joe Montana on Sports Illustrated's 20th Century Sports Awards. That's next Thursday at 9, 8 Central here on CBS. Richie Cunningham will put this one up from 24 yards out. And the kick is good. .157 to play, and the Cowboys put a little icing on the Thanksgiving Day cake. And you look at Dexter Coakley and a poll of our comrades during the timeout, Phil, left very little doubt.
It's a shutout. He's the winner. He's the Iron Man Award winner. Oh, look at the voting. There we go. I didn't know we had this many. Well, then we got the whole crew to put a vote in.
Oh, we must have called New York.
Yeah, we got them all. But you know what's interesting? Troy Aikman and Rocket Ismail, they hung in there on a tough day against a good defense and made plays. But let's take a look at what Dexter Coakley did today. Well, this is an easy interception. That was just icing on the cake for him. But this is the one that does it because that turned the game around. The game was stagnant. Which defense was going to make the play to win the game? Dexter Coakley made the play to win the game for the Dallas Cowboys.
Dexter has had himself a heck of a day, and that's the second straight year middle linebacker has come up and claimed the Iron Man Award. Last year, Stephen Boyd of the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, he had, boy, what a great game he had last year. And of course, Greg, Christmas Day, you're going to host it with me. We got a show coming on the All Iron Man team.
We'll pick the roughest and toughest and
well, not all of them, but of course,
best football players in the NFL.
You play football, you're a pretty tough guy. I don't care what you do now.
I'm not arguing with you. Brock Marion from the 5. The 20. And that's about it for Marion. And Damon Heward going to get a few words and then come in with 1:49 to play. But on Christmas Day, we'll present.
Well, we're going to do
Iron Man squad.
We're going to pick 15 players, one coach, and we're going to take one player that's out of the league and induct him in there too with them, and pick a guy that exemplifies everything that you like, what the fans like. All these players will be nominated by their coaches. You know, we got a lot of good elements to the show.
Your mom?
My mom's going to cook for the team.
Going to cook. David Letterman's going to supply us with a top 10 list.
Yep. And then to cap it all off, which when the players find out, it gets them all excited. Our captain, the guy we think is the leader of our group, we're going to give him a brand new truck.
Big truck.
Yeah, big truck. What color are we going to pick?
I believe it's a big black truck.
Yeah? Who makes it? GM.
GM.
There you go. Hell, I got to lead you on to all these things. Come on.
Well, and you know I'm such an expert on trucks, too.
You look like, you look like
I'm
a truck
trucker. Conrad has had his problems holding on to the football today.
But not to beat this show to death, Greg, though. But I tell you, we've been working some on it, just some of the things before we pick the players as the year goes along. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And, you know, we went out and we're using all the coaches. We asked every coach, every team to nominate 2 players that fill all the categories that people want out of a professional football player. And everybody gave us 2 names, and we're going to try to pick a team of 15 players from those names we received from each team.
Damon Heward over the middle. Pritchett out of the backfield. 45, 50, and out of bounds from the 45. Let me show you a picture of my truck.
Yeah. Well, one of those little toy ones, Tonka toys or something? Did you push it around?
Remote control.
Oh.
I drive it around. It looks a lot like Home Alone 3.
I didn't get to watch that, but I take it there must have been a, what do you call it, remote control. Hey, you look at Damon Hewitt, dog. I got to tell you now, and I think you know too, Greg. There's been such a debate in Miami since Damon Hewitt has come in, who was going to be the quarterback of this team.
And won't this fire it up again?
Oh boy, this is going to be big news now down in Miami.
Hewitt goes down. Alonzo Spellman, who has been pretty active on that Dallas defensive line all afternoon.
Just another big defensive lineman for the Dallas Cowboys. He was an end in Chicago. They brought him down here. He'd been out of football. They put him at defensive tackle, and he's done a good job of playing that position so far for the Miami Dolphins.
Conrad cut down on the far side.
I'm in for the Dallas Cowboys.
There's Jerry Jones. You know, he's been under the gun as much as Jimmy Johnson has all week long about the return of JJ.
Well, it was a big story 5 years ago,
right?
Maybe 4 years ago, but it's died out. The two of them, I think, have patched everything up. And
Pritchett to the 45.
And I think the relationship has kind of gone back to being friends again, which they were for so many years.
By the way, a happy Thanksgiving to our terrific CBS sports crew on hand here in Dallas, Texas this Thanksgiving Day, supplying their usual terrific sounds and pictures.
Yeah, working on a holiday and putting in some hard work and doing a terrific job, Greg. You're right.
Hewitt across the 40 to the 38-yard line, and the clock continues to move, and now it stops at 23 seconds.
Well, this Dallas Cowboy team, you know, you got to look out for them. The big stars, all the big players, the solid players they have. They've had some really tough losses this year.
Phil, the last time the Miami Dolphins were shut out, December of 1997, 41-0 at the hands of their opponent on December the 5th, the Indianapolis Colts.
Wow, boy, the Colts back in Indianapolis, their little cheering going on Thanksgiving Day. I'm sure they were rooting hard against the Miami Dolphins, which they should be doing. And they play a week from Sunday.
Expect Troy Aikman to take a knee and end this game right here.
Miami had their chances. They missed them early. The Dallas Cowboys, when they got their chances, they took advantage of them.
The one thing that is going to be questioned over and over again, what is Dan Marino's future? He came back here, said he was perfectly healthy, had an awfully tough afternoon with 5 interceptions.
Yeah, he's going to be disappointed. The problem, too, is they have 10 days before their next game, before their next game, so that just makes it harder for any player when you got to wait longer to come back out and redeem yourself.
20-0. The Dallas Cowboys go over the 500 mark at 6-5, while the Dolphins, coming into this game, tied with Indianapolis atop the AFC East at 8-2, suffer their 3rd loss of the season.
And Greg, I was telling you, when I look at the Dallas Cowboys, I see a team that's capable of making a run and winning a few games in a row and being a problem if they can get to the playoffs.
And as we said, these Dolphins, and you know, this is very reminiscent of the kind of game that the Dolphins had up in Buffalo a couple of weeks ago.
Well, this was a little better. Physically, they hung in this game for a long time. They looked like they were in a good position a couple times to make the score, to get ahead. They finally make the big mistake that cost them the game.
Time for the Iron Man Award. Let's go down to Armin Katayan. Armin.
Dexter, first of all, just all the talk of Jimmy and Jerry, it was the defense today that took control.
Yeah, we knew coming into the game it was going to be a great defensive game. Miami has a great defense, and we knew we were good as well. But, you know, Miami were hot. You know, they were 8-2 coming into this game. We were 5-5, so obviously you're going to see more of what they're doing on defense. But we just stepped it up and just came out and played collectively as a team and got the win.
I'd like to present you with something. This is an award that was created with Walter Payton in mind, the toughness and the heart that he displays on the field.
Yes, thank you.
You displayed that today. I would like, on behalf of Phil Simms and all of us at CBS Sports, to present you with the Iron Man Award. You earned it today.
Thank you very much.
You're
welcome.
welcome.
You. Happy Thanksgiving, Mom, Dad.
All right, Greg, back to you.
Congratulations indeed to Dexter Coakley. The Iron Man Award, 2nd annual, goes to a guy who, as you said, Phil, turned the game around today.
He turned it around. He deserved it. He's a tough player, and he played well, and he was the difference today.
Yeah. Once again, our final score, the Cowboys 20 and the Dolphins nothing. Tonight on CBS, Entertainer of the Year Shania Twain rocks Texas Stadium with an all-new concert you won't want to miss. For Phil Simms, Armin Katayan, and our entire CBS Sports crew, I'm Greg Gumbel. So long from Dallas. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.
He said he better not throw at me. He's crazy if he does. Jimmy sees an opportunity wasted. Still no score. Time wind down the second quarter. Cowboys 4th and 16 on the Dolphins 36. Chan Gailey and Aikman talk it over. Instead of a field goal, well, they tried to complete the pass, and that pass would have been short anyway, and Richie Cunningham not happy. Neither's Aikman, but Cunningham has been kicking very, very poorly. Third quarter, still no score. 3rd and 7 for the Dolphins at their own 40. Marino passes to Yatil Green, but Dexter Coakley steps in. 46 yards later, it's a touchdown. Marino upset, but Michael Irvin absolutely loves it. One of 2 picks for Coakley in this contest. Dolphins now trailing 7-0. 1st and 10 on their own 40. Marino looks for Tony Martin down the sideline. Martin, a great catch over Dwayne Hawthorne, even with the happy towel in his hand. What's that all about? Dolphins drive, though, halted with their 3rd missed field goal. 4th quarter, 10-0. Marino trying to come back. Goes down the sideline to Gaston, but this time, it's prime time. He says, I think he'll throw at me short, but if he comes at me long, I'm going to get him. Marino's first 4-interception game since 1988. Sanders in the receiving move there. Next play, Aikman on play action. Going deep to Rocket Ismail, and they make the connection. 65-yard bomb here. Cowboys go on top, 17-0. Jimmy Johnson not thrilled with his return to Big D because his club gets blanked. That's right, 20-0 the final score. The Dolphins had won in their last 3 meetings at Texas Stadium, including 6 years ago on Thanksgiving when they won on a Pete Stoyanovich field goal, 16-14. Well, the Cowboys made up for all of that love on this day. Again, Dan Marino, 5 interceptions. That ties a career high. 1988 happened against the New York Jets. Still much more ahead, folks. We're taking you up to Mississippi and Mississippi State. The Egg Bowl, the Battle of the Magnolia State. College game night to get you started when we're done. Stay tuned.
Yes, it is. Welcome into the ESPN News studios, and happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thanks a lot for staying with us, along with Pam Ward. I'm Whit Watson.
And unfortunately, on this Thanksgiving Day, we have to start with a very distressing story. Police have finally made an arrest in last week's drive-by shooting of Ray Caruth's girlfriend. They have arrested Ray Caruth, the Panthers receiver picked up early this morning in Charlotte. Police say the arrest came based on information they got late yesterday. There has been reaction from the Panthers.
It's a sad day. You know, it's ironic. Today is Thanksgiving Day, and we've got so much to be thankful for, and so many good things happening. This kind of puts things a little bit in perspective that there are some sad things going on in the world, and we just got to remember all those involved in our prayers today, the victims especially, and also for Ray, because we don't know what's going on. We don't know any of the details of what's really happened.
I'm certainly disappointed. I think all of us all along, you know, we're concerned about the young lady and the baby, and certainly Ray being involved in this, and we were hoping that it wouldn't come down to this.
Ray Caruth has been charged with 1 count of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, 1 count of attempted murder, and 1 count of shooting into occupied property. Early this evening, William E. Watkins of Charlotte was arrested on identical charges after he spoke at length with investigators. Watkins described by authorities as an acquaintance of Ray Caruth. Meanwhile, Caruth's pregnant girlfriend was shot 4 times. Again, this was last week. Both she and their baby boy, who was delivered after the attack, remain hospitalized in critical condition.
Last place in the NFC Central really doesn't mean a whole lot. Only a game and a half separate all the teams in the division, meaning that the last place Bears don't have very far to look to see the Lions, who are among 3 teams sharing first. Today, the Bears could see them clearly across the field as these 2 teams met for the 139th time. Thanksgiving in Pontiac, Michigan. Greg Hill fired up for some turkey and stuffing. First quarter, no score. Gus Frerotte to Jermaine Kroll across the middle, and there he goes. 45 yards and in. It was 7-0 Detroit. Later in the first, Frerotte still feeling good. The pass to Corey Schlesinger. Now watch this. Hand, helmet, hand. Keep running, focus, and the catch. Makes a great grab. Second quarter now, 3rd and 3. The Lions still driving. Greg Hill hits the corner, and there he goes. 29 yards for the touchdown. Couple of moves. Hill makes it 14-0 Lions. Bears 1st and 10, their own 20. The next play after that TD. Whoops. Jim Miller gets picked off by Scott Kowalkowski, takes it back to the 1. Lions would go in from there and go up 21-0. Blowout, right? No. Fourth quarter, Bears down 21-10. Miller off to Marty Booker, who goes 23 yards. That's a scamper. 21-17 Lions. 2 minutes left in the game. 3rd and 10 for the Lions. Quit celebrating. From the Bears 34, Farrat to Johnny Morton. 5 games off on the DL. Comes back, makes the first down, gets up, forgets about the new no throat slashing rule. Remembered it just in time. Don't need the fine. Thank you very much. Lions hang on to win 21-17. Jim Miller throws for 204 and 2 touchdowns, but the Bears have lost 6 straight at the Silverdome. The Lions improving to 4-1 against their division, and they move a half a game ahead of Minnesota and Tampa Bay in the NFC Central. A big part of that, Greg Hill. You saw that 29-yard touchdown run. So did Leslie Visser, and she spoke to Hill after the game.
Well, it was a big Thanksgiving for one man and a first Thanksgiving for his daughter, Jordan. Congratulations to Greg Hill. Greg, you totaled all 68 yards on that drive in the second quarter. What did you see in the Bear defense?
Well, basically, we just started, we found out the first time that we ran it that it was working for us. And, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they kept coming back, and they kept giving it to me. And I think I had most of the yards going down the field on that play. So it was just a blessing.
Do you think she understands what you did?
I don't think so. I think this is Jordan's first game, so all she knows is Dad.
Pretty good game for you to be the star of. You know, the Thanksgivings here in Detroit have so long been associated with Barry Sanders. What do you think you bring to the offense?
I think I just bring a little bit of what he actually brought to this team. I mean, he was great in every sense of the word, and I just want to be half as good as he was and half as exciting. I'm an entertainer, and I'm just trying to give the people what they want.
Pretty impressive today. Of course, you are the 3rd leading rusher in Texas A&M history. What were your thoughts this week?
I've been so sad behind what has happened at A&M, and I mean, my 4 years there, I went to the bonfires every year, and I mean, it's such a huge site, and it's such a wonderful thing that people come from all over Texas, and there are about 100,000 people there every year, and for what happened to have happened, I mean, all I did was drop down on my knees, I think, for the last 3 or 4 days, and just kept asking God to be with those families and be with the people at Texas A&M.
Well, a blessing to you that you're with your family. I think every hill deserves an extra piece of pumpkin pie. Congratulations.
Happy Thanksgiving.
To all of you. Back to you guys.
All right, Leslie, thanks very much. Thursday's effort produced the 2nd fewest rushing attempts in a game for the Bears in their history. They rushed 12 times for 52 yards. Remember, Greg Hill had 68 yards by himself on the ground. Now, that effort surpassed only by the 11-attempt effort in a 1994 game for the Bears against the Eagles. Entering this game, maybe it's no coincidence that Chicago ranked 24th in the league in rushing.
Jimmy Johnson admits today's Dolphins game in Dallas is far from just another ball game. This will be the best game that Dallas plays because they'd love to beat me, said Jimmy about his first trip back to Texas Stadium since he quit his Cowboys job 5.5 years ago. And Jimmy said, I feel the same way towards them. I want to win. Dan Marino and Troy Aikman both playing in this game, both started. Marino after missing the last 5 games because of a pinched nerve. Aikman missing the last 2 with concussions. A good word to describe the way they played. How about rusty? This game was scoreless until midway through the 3rd quarter when Dallas's Dexter Coakley ran 46 yards with an interception return, the second of 2 picks by Dan Marino, as the first one was picked off by Deion Sanders. Legendary Cowboys coach Tom Landry is spending Thanksgiving Day at home. Landry, who was in the hospital getting chemotherapy treatments for his leukemia, left Baylor University Med Center on Sunday. The 75-year-old is receiving outpatient care for his cancer, which has yet to go into remission.
Could Michigan State take over the top?
Fourth quarter, 7 minutes left, 10-0 Dallas. 2nd and 10 from the 48 of Miami. Marino picked off again by Deion Sanders. Marino's 4th interception of the afternoon. He would tally 5 on the day, 14 for 35, 176 yards. 2 plays later, Aikman going deep, finding Raghib Ismail, 65 yards for the touchdown. Aikman 16 for 29, 232 yards. That was his lone touchdown on the day. The Cowboys win it 20-0. Jerry Jones's club notching the shutout over Jimmy Johnson's crew, 20-0, the final. Indianapolis, the team that is tied atop the AFC East with the Dolphins, taking on the Jets this Sunday. And, of course, Dolphins fans becoming Jets fans in a big hurry. Much more ahead on ESPN News. Pam and Whit are going to put down the drumsticks. And
football, sir. The annual Thanksgiving Day affair in the Silverdome. Will the Bears' Jim Miller spoil the party? Detroit is bolstered by a star's return, but it is his understudy who steals the show. Speaking of stars, Dallas and Miami, Aikman and Marino. It is the best subplot on the sideline. Jimmy Johnson makes his first homecoming to Big D. Thanksgiving Day, a football fantasy. Next.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to this special Thanksgiving edition of NFL Tonight. Mark Malone along with Mike Golick, who somehow managed to get himself into a